It's that day you all know and love. It is a Supernatural News Wednesday here on Darkness Radio. I'm Tim Dennis. I'm your host. And of course, when we do Supernatural News Wednesday, we got to bring in a co-host. Let's bring in the co-host with the most. That BCB, that big cuddly bear. Here he is, Beer City Bruiser. How you doing, Bruiser?
Oh, I'm doing good, Tim. And guess what?
What?
I finally pulled the trigger.
What trigger is that?
I had some McRibs this week, or today, actually.
Did you?
I went and got them for lunch. After our talking yesterday,
Yeah.
I made sure I told Ziggy Starpup, hey, Daddy's going to eat some McRibs.
Yeah.
And I did.
So now you don't have to point at Ziggy and say, what's that smell?
Nope.
It's you. It's finally you. Oh, how do you feel, my friend? Are you logy? Are you feeling not quite yourself?
I feel fantastic.
Oh, good.
I feel rejuvenated. I'm ready to rock and roll with the Supernatural News.
Well, that's good. That's good. You won't feel that way in a couple hours, but yeah.
No, I won't.
It's good that you're feeling good now. Yeah. I mean, it'll take a minute, but yeah.
I figured I'd time it out before I have to go train the future of underwater needlepoint.
Oh yeah, you teach them about the brown streaks in the spandex. Yeah, that is an important lesson to teach.
That's why you don't wear white gear.
That's right. That's right. Never wear white to the ring, unless you're absolutely confident of yourself.
Yeah, I've seen what happens to white gear. A guy back in Wisconsin years ago he did an ice cream man gimmick, and I'm not talking about a kid that's just recently did it. I'm talking years ago.
Oh my God! And
he'd come out and hand ice cream sandwiches to the kids and stuff. We wore the all white old school.
Oh no!
Soda pop thing.
No.
We ended up taking a backdrop, and you see him say something to the guy he's wrestling. So the guy he's wrestling all of a sudden grabs one of the ice cream sandwiches and hits him in the butt with it a bunch. We're like, well, that's odd. Why would you do that? Match gets over and he comes running back. The ice cream guy comes running through the curtain, past all of us, straight to the shower, starts turning on the shower and starts taking everything off. We're like, what's the matter? I shit myself. So the reason he had the guy grab the ice cream sandwich and hit him in the butt was because the ice cream sandwiches are brown.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of people going, oh, look, he shit himself, they're like, oh.
He got hit with an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, and that smell. Oh, when he took his pants off, he goes, yeah, it's the last time I have Taco Bell before I wrestle.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
How do you, okay, now I know my body's constitution, and I know if you're going to pick me up in the air and slam me onto anything, the last thing I'm eating is a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell or anything from Taco Bell, because chances are I'm not going to hold on to it.
Yeah. Well, some people don't know their own consonants, so.
I mean, if I got to eat anything, I might have a nice solid block of cheese.
To this day, whenever I see him, I always giggle. That's my favorite memory. And this guy's trained some of the best underwater needle pointers, in the business. And this is a story I always bring up to him. And he'll look at me and go, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. I go, yep. But you'll always be remembered for doing this.
But you shit your ice cream man outfit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we've all had our moments. We've all had our embarrassing moments. I was in an Anoka parade where I was dressed as Chuck E. Cheese, and I actually passed out in the wool costume.
Really?
Yeah, it was 90-some degrees.
They didn't have an internal fan in it?
No, God, no.
And it was wool.
It was wool. It had a couple of little vents in it. And I was marching, I think that it was, what was it? The parade route was a little over a mile and a half.
Okay.
And in 90-degree humidity and heat, and here I am, a big kid in a Chuck E. Cheese costume. I wasn't going to last.
Yeah, it's not like you can just lift up the head and drink water.
No, or get some air even. I mean, the only, sight hole or breathing hole you have is this little tiny, if you just take your hands and form a circle, it's about as much air or sight as you have out of the mouth hole of Chuck E. Cheese.
You're just yelling, somebody blow in my face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I remember they they put me in a vehicle and drove me up to the high school, laid me out on a table. That's the last thing I remember. And then I was out like a light.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I believe it. Heat exhaustion is not something to mess with. I've had it numerous times.
And I remember one girl who I thought was particularly cute was charged with helping get my costume off. She said, "Oh, yeah, I know, right? Well, not as sexy as you'd think there, Bruiser." Because she said it was the grossest thing ever. It was all wet wool.
Oh,
that she had to pull off.
no, that's not good.
I soaked that sucker. It was drenched. Yeah. So yeah, needless to say, we never dated. In fact, I never.
But that could have been your end. You could have said, "Look, you've seen me at my worst. Let me show you at my best."
Yeah, no,
The wet wool was too much for her.
Yeah, I never looked her in the eye again. That is not how I operated. Oh, look at that. See, sometimes there are angels in this world, Bruiser, and one of them is texting me right now asking me if I would like a McRib.
No, look at you. See? So you're going to get yourself a McRib, aren't you?
I'm taking 2.
That's what I had 2. I had 2 because that's what you said the other day.
That's right. You always take 2.
Said, yep.
They're like aspirin. You take 2.
Yeah. And it was so delicious. Now, those are probably the only 2 I'm going to have till they're gone.
What?
Yeah, I got a big event coming up at the end of the month, so I gotta look as svelty bruiser as possible.
I hear McRib is strictly protein. Yeah.
What kind of animal is McRib? We don't even know what animal it is.
It's an extinct dinosaur, I believe. That is
one of those cryptids that we talk about. Right? It's a cryptid.
Yeah, it's all 100% Sasquatch. So I believe you could just eat as much as you'd like. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to.
It's all lean meat. So yeah.
Sasquatch isn't lean. He's got to have some. I'm thinking Chupacabra is probably lean.
Have you ever seen Sasquatch, the Zapruder film or whatever the hell it is? You've seen it, haven't you? The one where it's a back and to the left, and then you see Sasquatch running through the woods. Yeah, have you ever seen the sinewy, ripply, muscle?
But that's all belly.
That's all McRib, son. Yeah, that's what that's made out of. So yeah, you train to your heart's content. You eat about 4 or 5 McRib a day, and you'll be rippled. You'll just be you'll be ready to go.
I'll be elusive too, won't I?
Yes, you will. Yeah, you'll be like the Flash. They won't be able to catch you, and not like Flash, not like that kind of Flash. Like
okay, I gotcha.
Right. Speaking of being scary fast and scary good, did you have a scary Halloween or a good one?
I had a great Halloween.
Did you?
Yeah, I did a special event on Saturday. Mm-hmm. That's where I got to hand out candy to some kids.
Don't hand out kids to anybody. No. Give them back to their families, please.
During my match, I made a 70-year-old woman so upset she decided to get in the ring.
What?
To attack me. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you're doing your job a little too well.
Yeah. And then the Halloween, our neighborhood really doesn't do a lot of trick or treating. But we got to see a lot of cool kids' costumes the night before or 2 nights before. So it was just me and Mrs. Bruiser sitting here at home and watching TV, watching scary stuff.
We had an amazing amount of kids here.
Did you?
Our neighborhood, first of all, we have, I think, the most well-behaved kids in the world in this neighborhood. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're great. It's always please and thank you for when they say trick or treat. So I always load up on candy. I get an amazing amount of candy. I still have candy upstairs that I shouldn't touch. So I may set it out on the curb for kids to take on their way to school. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. But I got a bag of 100 pieces of Sour Patch Kids and Swedish fish. And then I got another big bag of like the assorted chocolate, like Twix and M&Ms and Milky Way and Snickers, right?
Yeah, the good stuff.
Yeah, like a couple 100 pieces, right? And so I just take handfuls and I just throw them in the bag, yeah, right? like giant handfuls, like I pretend like I'm Shaquille O'Neal Pullman of basketball, and I just take handfuls and scoops and I throw them in the bag. And here's my deal when it comes to Halloween. I'll keep the light on like till 10:30.
Yeah.
Because my deal is, I don't care if you have a costume or not, and I don't care how old you are. Right?
Right.
I'd rather see a teenager show up at my door with no costume and ask me for candy than see a kid out there drinking, partying, and possibly getting in a car accident.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah. So
100%.
So I'll keep my light on till like 10:30, 10:45 at night. Yeah. Just in case there's a couple of kids that think it's just kind of a lark or kind of funny to go around and knock on whoever's door and see if they can get candy. You can come to my door. I'll dump the entire damn bowl in your bag if you got the balls to come to my door that late, right? Nobody came around at 10:30, 10:45 this year.
Oh, really? You didn't have any late stragglers, huh?
No, the latest they came by was like 9:30, 9:45.
Okay.
Yeah. So
early birds.
Yeah, it was a pretty early night. So,
yeah.
But gave away a lot of candy. I would say we probably had it was a fair year, probably about 100 kids, 110 kids, which is reasonable for us. The last year was like the big supposed year after COVID, which I didn't feel was really a year after COVID. I thought it was kind of early, but we probably had about 150 to 175 kids.
Yeah, it's slowing down, I've noticed. Yeah. Like, well, the neighborhood I live in, my block is a bunch of retirees and then one family with small children.
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't, and they all told us, like, no, we don't really get anything. So that's why we made sure we helped out that Saturday event. Yeah. Because you love watching the kids have fun and, you know what I mean? And dressing, and plus it's great seeing all the costumes they come up with. But I was so lost this year looking at some of these costumes because my kids are all grown and gone. Mm-hmm. So unless they were your classic Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason, Frankenstein, I had no idea. Like I didn't know what a Paw Patrol was. I didn't know what Stranger Things I haven't watched yet, so I didn't get the references for those.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there was one kid who showed up last night. And he referenced, I think it was the clock from Beauty and the Beast, and he totally stumped intern Yoko. Like she's trying to guess the costumes, right? And she goes, "And what are you?" And the kid's probably about 11, 12 years old, and he's just looking at her like, come on, lady, like I got places to be, right?
Yeah.
And she nails the other two, but this one, they're just like...
It stumped her, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, come on. Like he's pointing, right? And I'm like, clock. And then, of course, earlier in the day, we're going cock.
Yeah, exactly.
but no, I'm like, clock. I'm like whispering in the corner, clock. Yeah, she had no clue.
They had a costume contest we're at, and I thought this kid was going to win, but it was from basically birth to 12 years old. You can enter this contest. And he was 12. It was a 12-year-old gets in the ring. He has a belly shirt cut in half.
Okay.
And he had the word nothing written on his stomach. That was his costume. And the announcer goes, well, you guys say your name and what your costume is.
Okay.
He says his name. What's your costume? He goes, look, I'm absolutely nothing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what?
That's perfect.
Yeah. A+ for creativity, kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't love it.
Yeah.
No, someone dressed up like Scarecrow from Batman, and this kid had to be about 7 years old. And it was the coolest costume I've ever seen from the Arkham.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch the Arkham, the video game series, or read the comics from the Arkham, that Scarecrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nailed it. Perfect.
Wow. Yeah. There's some good ones out there. There's some kids that came to the door that had some really, really, I don't want to use the word ornate, but they really put some time into it.
Yeah. I love when kids I used to put time into it when I did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I play dress up every weekend, so I don't dress up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. One neighborhood in Michigan didn't have such a good Halloween.
No?
No. Is it Wyandotte, Michigan, I believe?
Yeah, we'll keep that.
Okay. Had a cockroach infestation so bad, how bad was it, that officials canceled their trick-or-treating.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, those poor kids.
Yeah. This is Halloween scary at its finest. A letter from Wyandotte city engineer to residents warns of a cockroach infestation in a home that is so bad that officials had to cancel trick-or-treating on Monday on 20th Street to prevent further roach migration. The decision, the warning went on to say, is in the best interest of its citizens. The city said it is putting human barricades and signs, not so much to stop the roaches, but to close the sidewalks on the streets from Eureka to Grove from 4 to 8 p.m. on Monday to vehicles and kids in their adorable costumes.
That had to be terrifying if you're a kid and you're walking and there's a human fence preventing you from going into a neighborhood.
Right?
That's a horror movie.
That is. The closure, the city said, includes the intersections of Orchard and Pine. The letter, which was dated October 25th, was signed by Gregory Mayhew and posted in a Downriver Facebook group. A resident and city councilman, Todd Hanna, whose name is at the top of the letter, along with other officials, independently verified the letter's accuracy. It's of no fault of the city, Hanna told the Free Press this past weekend, explaining that the infestation came to light a few weeks ago when the city's waste management picked up a load of garbage crawling with bugs outside a home that has been vacated. Oh.
So who's responsible then? Is the city then to get rid of that? It's a vacated house.
I think at that point it's a city, yeah, that has to clean it up.
Oh.
Because you can't put it back on the former. Well, you know what? I think technically, if the home has been sold to a new homeowner, it's on the new homeowner to clean it up. If the home's been vacated, then it's the city.
Yeah.
Hannah added the city is desperately trying to get rid of the pest, so it is the city. It's been vacated.
Gotcha.
In the meantime, the council voted to shut down trick-or-treating to prevent roaches from grabbing onto kids' costumes.
Oh, yeah, and once you get them in your house, they're like bed bugs. They just multiply.
Yeah. Ugh. And entering other homes, there was also concerns, he said, that even if trick-or-treaters were to kill some of the roaches by stepping on them, their eggs would survive and be tracked all over the neighborhood. Ew.
Ugh.
That is a horror movie right there. Cockroaches are one of the most commonly noted household pets, according to the Michigan State University Extension Service. There are nearly 4,000 cockroach species worldwide and about 60 in the U.S. The insects, the MSU Extension Service added pose health risks, including disease transmission once they invade your dwelling. Mayhew wrote in his letter that the city's engineering department identified a property in your neighborhood that has a roach infestation and that the bugs are making their way to other homes. Oh, no. So they're already on their way. The city is trying to exterminate the roaches, but Mayhew said it will take some time. Wyandotte resident Jeff Kirkes, who lives near the infested home, said he posted the letter to social media to show that the city never covers up or hides issues that are important to our communities and that we always do our research and get in contact with officials with facts. He also said he had been in contact with Hannah and said that he has also been speaking with affected neighbors in that area for the past few days and kept them updated. Kirkes added, people need to realize that there are procedures that have to be followed, and that is what the city has been doing. In the very near future, the city will take control of the affected property and have professionals in that field come in and take care of the situation. So one little nightmare that happened over Halloween.
Yeah. Why are they waiting so long to take care of it? They should have taken care of it right away when the garbage men picked up the garbage, saw the bugs, they look into it, it's vacated. Okay, we have control. Let's take care of it. Like, if I was a neighbor, I'd be mad they haven't taken care of it yet because my house is at risk.
Well, they might not have been aware of the extent of it.
True.
You know, they had to just see how bad the true extent of it was yet, and then take action. You know?
Nobody from the city wanted to walk in that house.
Well, the other part of it too is they had to figure out if the house was actually a house that was still in possession by somebody, and if it wasn't, if it was vacated, then it was their responsibility to go in and clean it up. So they had to figure out if there was actually a contact that they had to get a hold of to force them to clean it up.
Well, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, most definitely. Halloween decorations, did you do anything outside?
We did a little bit, but because it's such a new house, we didn't have time to. So whatever decorations we brought with us, we did. But next year I go all out. I love going all out for Halloween. My dad, when I was a kid, would always stuff, jumpsuit or something, stick it out there. He would rig a CB so you could talk through it, and we'd put, spaghetti in it and noodles and peeled grapes and all that. So I've been doing it since I was a kid. So this year we didn't go as hard as we wanted to because we had just bought the house and we only bought a few decorations with us. But next year, watch out.
yeah, most definitely. We've got a few things out there in the yard, but an Illinois couple is guarding a secret behind their viral Stranger Things Halloween decor. I'm going to actually put up the link for this in the description of this show because this, my friend, is actually quite the trick.
Okay.
This is quite amazing. An Illinois couple's Halloween decorations are going viral thanks to the closely guarded secret of how the Stranger Things inspired display seemingly defies gravity.
Really?
Yeah, it is cool.
Okay.
It is cool. Dave and Aubrey Appel's Halloween display outside their Plainfield home went viral after they posted a video to TikTok showing the recreation of a famous scene from the most recent Stranger Things season where Max Mayfield, played by Sadie Sink, levitates in midair, and they managed to recreate it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The couple have remained mum on how they managed to make their mannequin version of Max appear to levitate several feet over their driveway. The display was temporarily removed in early October when a neighbor complained about crowds gathering to look at the spooky decor. I think those neighbors should be tied to a chair somewhere. But it was restored days later when local police gave the Appels the go-ahead.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll put that up, and there's a video for it as well where you can watch the video and see exactly how the trick is done. Yeah.
We're the neighborhood that we take Ziggy Starpup to see her litter mates once a month. Mm-hmm. The whole subdivision goes all out for Halloween. And right when you pull in, they have it looks like a 20-foot werewolf. And it's, as you're driving along, each yard has the different transformation till you get to the werewolf.
Really?
So like the first part of someone's yard is just basically a guy wearing the clothes, and then it's a little bit hairier and a little bit taller, then a little bit hairier than, and by the time you get to the third, fourth house, there's this 20-foot full-blown werewolf. And like at first you're like, well, that's weird. Why do they have a mannequin in the front yard?
Yeah.
Oh, look, that one's dressed as. And then as you go along, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the whole world because his neighbors working together to make this creation.
That's really cool. Really cool. So today in Supernatural News, boy, we're bringing the spooky today.
Some nightmare fuel.
Some nightmare fuel. We are talking all things spooky today. We got a lot of ghost stories today. We're going to address the UFO thing right up front. We've got some creatures today that we'll be talking about. A screaming creature out there in the wild. We're going to talk about one woman who got herself gored by a bison.
Oh, well, don't do that.
Yeah, first of all, if you're that close to a bison, you're going to get gored. I'll just tell you that much. Yeah, common sense. Although we were talking with Mitzi Soretto yesterday on True Crime Tuesday about how common sense is. I was talking off the air with her. Common sense is no longer a thing.
No, it's gone. Yeah, social media's gotten rid of common sense.
That's true. The Enfield poltergeist photographer remains perplexed 45 years later. We'll talk about that. Why don't you ever hear about new ghosts, Bruiser? We'll talk about that today as well. We hear about ghosts from the past, but how come you never talk to a ghost that's talking about the things that they found on their iPhone 4?
That's a good question.
See, we'll talk about that today. And a woman is cooking recipes that she's found on gravestones. She does that as a hobby. We'll talk about that as well today. So lots of stuff lined up today on Supernatural News. But first, let's get to this whole UFO thing, shall we? As we have a couple of different interesting UFO stories, including an Italian military officer on trial for investigating reports of UFOs and aliens.
So Italy doesn't want to acknowledge that there's life out there, possibly.
I guess not. In Italy, a former military officer is on trial for allegedly fraudulent and slanderous activities related to investigating reports of UFOs and aliens. According to, I believe it's Teleunica and other Italian language media, Alessandro De Rorio, now a retired lieutenant of the Italian National Gendarmerie. That's what it is. I was never good at Italian. I'll tell you.
No.
I'm great at eating their food. I'm horrible at speaking their language. From the commune of Cessia in, forgive me here, Italy. I know you want to revolt over my pronunciation of your language. Valmalenko, that's what it is. Valmalenko is mainly accused of having wrongfully received 80 euros in overtime pay for researching UFOs and aliens. So he took overtime pay for doing this. That's why he's in trouble.
I can see why he got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Like, if it's your hobby, yeah. But we're not paying you to work overtime to look into space.
Right. It's alleged that Di Royo was not supposed to do this work, quote unquote, but did it. Not only that, he is also accused of promoting a false ideology in public activities and continuing fraud. Oh, so they are getting him for the ideology.
Yeah.
Yeah. It may sound funny, but in fact, these are very serious charges that can lead to real prison sentences. And yes, literally jail for looking for UFOs.
So what are you in here for? Oh, I murdered my boss. What are you in here for? Oh, I stole a couple million euros. What are you in here for? I looked at UFOs.
Yeah, I was looking in the sky for UFOs. According to Di Royo's attorney, these accusations are completely ridiculous since they have a dossier about how Di Royo of UFO sightings in Chiesa in Valmalenko during his work, that this was a full part of his work and that the military located under his command took this investigation seriously. The prosecution insists that Di Royo spent 2 hours and 40 minutes on this fraud. Oh, a whole 2 hours and 40 minutes.
I was going to say all at once?
Yeah.
Or to spread that out?
Yeah, well, maybe he did it in 10-minute increments. Who knows? He spent a whole 2 hours and 40 minutes on this fraud and wrongfully received a salary of 80 euros for this. That's not a lot of money.
No, that's not.
No.
Not at all.
A trifle, it would seem, but there are no trifles in this bureaucracy, it is said. Di Royo is said to have diligently sent UFO investigation reports to senior management, and when asked to stop, he continued on his own initiative. Also, he did some free work.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not
and
a bad thing.
If he was smart, he didn't report his free work to higher ups. He just kind of went, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
and then still did his own.
Sure. Also, during the forensic audit, it turned out that Di Royo himself called himself an eyewitness to unusual flying phenomena. Oh, that's nice. The story began in 2011 when residents of Chiesa in Valmalenko began to increasingly report mysterious round objects in the sky. Over the next 2 years, strange UFOs continued to appear regularly in the area. As a result, the commander of the local Carabinieri, Lieutenant Alessandro Di Royo, became interested in this phenomenon. He described everything in the reports and sent it to the leadership, but received nothing in response, except for a notification that the reports had been safely delivered to the appropriate provincial command of the Ministry of Defense. As a result, Di Royo decided to continue sending reports there, apparently with the hope of getting an answer someday. 6 years later, in 2019, Di Royo was told by his superiors in the Department of Defense to stop sending out reports about UFOs and intelligent aliens. However, DeRoyo decided that it would be unfair to the locals who confided to him about the sightings of UFOs, so he decided to continue his work like a good soldier. I mean, why not?
He's for the people.
That's right. He's employed by the people, right?
Yep.
As a result, someone complained about DeRoyo, and an internal investigation was launched, which found that DeRoyo included 2 additional hours in his timesheet for the investigation of UFOs and received 80 euros for this. Alessandro DeRoyo was accused of spreading a false ideology and fraud against the state. DeRoyo's lawyer, Marco Della Luna, said that his client is being tried only because he simply refused to keep this documentation in his desk drawer. That is, he did not hush up his problem.
Who's the butt munch that reported him? Like, talk about just being like, he must have made them mad in some way.
Well, I'm sure.
They're like, oh, I'm going to tell on you.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure, yes. For the first time, aliens entered the criminal process. However, after 2 interrogations, the court recognized the existence of a dossier with photographs and reports from the police department in which both aliens and strange aircraft appear. According to the reports from residents of Chiesa in Valmalenco, in addition to unusual flying objects, they saw strange lights, suspicious shadows, unidentified aircraft, unusual figures, hominids, and so on. The photographs and reports from the submitted dossier are key to DeRoyo's defense because they prove that he was doing real work with real citizen testimony. However, the prosecution has already claimed that some of these photographs and reports are forgeries, and DeRoyo allegedly knew they were, and may have even created them, some of them at least, himself. As for DeRoyo himself, besides the fact that he was immediately fired from his post when the accusations against him appeared, he also experienced strong mental pressure. The quote from him is, "They laughed at me, treated me like crazy. I went through a very difficult period. I got sick, but I can assure you that I never violated my duty and that I never stole anything from the state." The main court session in the DeRoyo case took place a week ago in Verona, and the final one, for unknown reason, was postponed to January 11th of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets away with it.
Yeah. So hopefully Alessandro DeRoyo can get off the hook.
Yeah, like hopefully he has to pay back the overtime, the 80 euros. Yeah. Because that's kind of wrong. I think that's wrong. But
yeah. Let him.
If they say it's false ideology,
yeah.
I think they have to prove that it's false.
Exactly.
If he has to prove it's real, they should have to prove it's false.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Let him pay back the 80 euros and be done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have an article in front of me here that says UFOs and aliens are time travelers and are arriving to confirm historical facts. There are some.
I've heard this theory before.
Yeah, and it's a widespread theory and a theory that's been thrown out there before. It's nothing new, but this particular article says that one of the controversies that has been around the UFO phenomena is what UFOs are. For some, they are experimental aircraft being tested by the government. For others, they are alien spaceships from outer space here on their mysterious missions. Another idea is that they are interdimensional operators moving across a bridge between realities from some parallel dimension. However, these are not all theories, and more attention is being paid to the fact that aliens may not be those described above, but rather people from the future. One idea has been put forward regarding the origin of UFOs and alien encounters is that they are not aliens from another planet or dimension at all, but rather us. The idea basically bolts down to the fact that these creatures are people from the future. One of the main people behind this theory in recent years is Michael Masters, a professor of biological anthropology at Montana Tech, a highly reputable college, by the way, Montana Tech.
It is.
I don't know if you've ever taken
I've heard numerous good things about Montana Tech.
They have a hell of an automobile program over there at Montana Tech.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I specialized in carburetors over there. I don't know if you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gasoline.
Their football team's not that great.
No, they're horrible. Montana Tech, who has been fascinated with UFOs ever since his father encountered them when he was a child. That's Michael Masters, that is. Throughout his career as an anthropologist, he sought real scientific research into the UFO phenomena, cultivating in his book, Identified Flying Objects, a multidisciplinary scientific approach to the UFO phenomena. I think he got paid by the syllable for that title.
I think he was going for longest title in the world.
He was. One area that Masters found particularly exciting was the idea that aliens could actually be human beings from the distant future, and he uses his knowledge of human evolution to support this claim. In many reports of aliens, we have grays, perhaps the most common type of creatures. These creatures are usually described as thin, bipedal, and hairless, with enlarged skulls, small mouths and jaws, tiny noses, and very large eyes. All very human-like, considering that if they were traveling from another planet, it seems unlikely that they would be us or be like us. Instead, Masters and others who subscribe to his theory believe that such an appearance is more in line with the trends and patterns of human evolution throughout our history on this planet. Can you believe that we would evolve to a gray?
Yeah, I don't. Well, the way that the environment is and the global warming and all that, if the sun were to disappear, I'm sure we'd turn into a gray, right?
Maybe.
So, and we don't know how far in the future they're coming. If that's his theory, do I subscribe to that theory? No, but I can see how he can say that, because in the future, we don't know what the atmosphere is like.
True. Very true. Indeed, looking at the expected path of human evolution into the future, it is predicted that we will develop hairlessness, larger heads for more brain space, smaller mouth openings. Well, that takes away some fun. And many other features of these so-called aliens. In fact, if you look at these predicted trends and quickly imagine a modern human to simulate these changes, at some point you will find a creature that is very similar to the grays that are observed in UFOs. It seems to make sense. After all, it seems more likely that we evolve to look like them than that of a completely alien species from another world evolved to look like us. At the same time that we evolve into this form, our technology will also take a leap, possibly leading to the ability to travel through time at some point. And with these fantastic machines and alien appearances, it will be quite natural for a human to come to the conclusion that he is seeing aliens and not time travelers. It all looks like something straight out of science fiction, but then again, so does the idea that aliens are visiting Earth from space light years away and a sea of stars. According to Masters, the idea of a time traveler is actually a more rational explanation for UFO, a simpler possibility than suggesting that space civilizations exist and visit us. And he told space.com about this. He says, quote, "If we continue to evolve as we have in the 6 to 7 million years since we first walked upright, our neurocranium, the top of the skull and brain, continues to grow in size, and we become more and more rounded. If the same dominant trend continues into the future, we are likely to look very similar to what is commonly described in UFO reports." The book links known aspects of our evolutionary history to what is still the unverified, unconfirmed facts of UFOs and aliens. He went on to say, "We know that we are here. We know that people exist. We know that we have had a long evolutionary history on this planet, and we know that our technology will be more advanced in the future." I don't know, Bruiser.
I don't subscribe to that theory, but why can't we mix the two theories together where the grays are aliens from different planets, but UFOs could be ways of time travel? Because it's not like we say all grays drive these UFOs. It's not like you can look at a UFO and go, oh, that's a gray in that UFO.
I've heard other theories as to what the grays are, too. I've heard that the grays are, just a worker bee.
I've heard that.
Other alien races, and that there's really not much to them as far as intelligence goes. I think it's a leap to say that it's the human form. I don't think it's human, but I do think that UFOs could be ways of time travel. It could be a capsule that we use to travel back in time. Sure.
You just, maybe the rules are you can't exit the capsule because you can't screw up the time continuum.
I would buy more into, something like the Nordics being an evolutionized form of a human or something to that effect. Or hell, I would even buy us evolutionizing into a lizard people. I don't know, but The
Not
grays.
grays.
The grays, not so much.
Grays, I think, are outer space.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Moving on, there are some wild experiments going on right now to bounce some radio signals off the moon and Jupiter. We actually have a sample of that radio signal right here. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Cruiser and Bruiser in the morning, right here on Darkness Radio. Here we go, folks. A little 9 at 9 as we fire up some Boston. We got some Van Halen coming up, and of course, a little bit of Sammy Hagar's coming up right now. Those are the radio signals they're sending up right now.
Good. So we're intergalactic now, huh?
Yeah, we're intergalactic right now. Turns out the HARP facility in Alaska has completed a 10-day campaign of ambitious science of just sending up a bunch of pukers up to the, they just took a bunch of puker top 40 DJs and rock jocks and sent them up to the moon and Jupiter.
There's launching old Casey Kasem broadcast.
Right. That's absolutely right. Coming in top 40. An antenna field in Alaska that spawned no shortage of conspiracy theories has been carrying out a series of experiments that include sending radio signals to the moon and Jupiter and waiting for pings back. A lot of the pings will probably be like, turn that shit off. Yeah, that might be.
Or it'd be a request.
Yeah, it'll be a request. Could you play that song again? I don't want to hear Bop again. Could you turn that off?
Play some Garth Brooks, please, next time. We're more of a country folk.
Oh, God, that would be horrible. If aliens were country folk. That I really wouldn't need to see them then. I could skip meeting them. I mean, that may be your speed. That's not my speed.
Some country music I like. I like all music. That's just it.
I got to tell you, I know I'm never going to hell because I spent 3 years in country music as a DJ. I've served my time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
What if they came back and said, "Oh, we want to hear some NWA"? Like, oh no.
Oh no, hey, I'm down with that.
You want a bunch of gangster rap?
Yeah.
Aliens coming to visit us?
Yeah. Okay. You know, I don't know about you, but I'm in mourning. They shot Amigo yesterday.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard he died today.
What kind of piece of shit do you have to be to shoot Amigo? I mean, that's like shooting a minion. They're harmless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just make music. That's all they do.
Yeah. The guy's name was, well, his performance name is Takeoff, but I mean, Amigo.
Yeah.
All they do is Saturday Night Live skits. I mean, you know, I don't know what this world's coming to, Bruiser.
I don't know either. I questioned that after John Lennon was shot by a quote unquote fan.
Yeah. It's getting ridiculous. You know, I mean, okay, back in the day when you did have groups, you know, you had Ice-T and you had NWA and you had Ice Cube and you had, you know, you had Public Enemy and groups that were dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see shootings.
Right.
But the kids these days that are doing hip hop aren't dangerous.
No, Amigo is not dangerous at all.
No.
By any way. I thought when that guy shot Dimebag Darrell, I'm like, why would you do that? What has Dimebag Darrell ever done to you?
Right.
You know?
But the kids...
But I can see Pantera getting into a fight before I see Amigo getting into a fight.
Right. I mean, the kids these days just... And listen to me, like I'm the old man on the mountain. But I
didn't know you were such a Migos fan. This really bugs you.
It does. It does. Well, you know why? Because they really were instrumental in changing hip hop, you know, into what it is today. And they're not they're harmless.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, at least we still got Seal.
God damn it. Why didn't they shoot Seal? Club him and then shoot him.
That's illegal.
I don't care what government body is protecting Seal right now. They should have shot him. They should have took Seal instead of Takeoff. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, let's get back to the story. The High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, that's what HARP stands for, by the way.
It does.
Kicked off a 10-day science campaign that ran through October 28th. On the agenda were 13 experiments that are pushing the limits of what the facility can do. I don't think any of us know what HARP can do.
No.
No. Mm-mm.
And they're not going to tell us.
No. not at all. The October research campaign is our largest and most diverse to date, with researchers and citizen scientists collaborating from across the globe. Jessica Matthews, HARP's program manager and basically Satan's minion, said in a release. I just threw that in there to stir up the conspiracy theorists in the audience.
Yeah.
HARP is made up of 180 high-frequency antennas, each standing at 72 feet tall and stretched across 33 acres near Gacona, Alaska. If you're looking to go down and tear down all those towers, that's where you can start. Just something for your kids to do in your spare time.
Instead of shooting Migos, go tear down HARP.
Yeah, instead of shooting a Migo, go tear down those towers. Do something constructive. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Darkness Radio does not sanction tearing down HARP's towers, by the way.
No. By no means do we sanction that or encourage it.
No, we don't condone it at all. The research facility transmits radio beams towards Earth's ionosphere, the ionized part of the atmosphere that's located about 50 to 400 miles or 80 to 600 kilometers, for you people who still use the metric system, above the Earth's surface. The ionosphere is filled with electrically charged particles, a result of being blasted by solar energy. HARP sends radio signals to the ionosphere and waits to see how they return. Well, that's practically harmless.
Yeah, nothing bad can come of that.
You're not going to summon Satan that way. They do that in an effort to measure the disturbances caused by the sun, among other things. In one recent experiment known as the moon bounce, which, by the way, was a Migos tune. Why aren't we shooting HARP?
I loved moon bounces as a kid. They were amazing.
They were great, weren't they? Did you ever have moon boots?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had a pair. Yeah.
I did.
They were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd last you about a week.
Well, yeah, they weren't really sturdy.
No, especially in the harsh Wisconsin, Minnesota winters.
That's right. Yeah. They weren't like Timberlands, which the Migos all have. I'm going to go back to this again. A group of researchers from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Owens Valley Radio Observatory, and the University of New Mexico transmitted a signal from the HARP antennas in Alaska to the moon and then waited to receive a reflected signal back at the observatory sites in California and New Mexico. Tells you what, Bruiser?
What?
They got a lot of time on their hands. That's right. The purpose of the experiment is to study how the three facilities in Alaska, California, and New Mexico can work together for the future observations of near-Earth asteroids. You heard me right, kids. The facility may be
on this again.
Yeah, yeah.
This is just nerds trying to be a better nerd than the other nerd. They're like, oh, you guys shot a rocket? Well, yeah, watch this. We have 3, count them, 3 stations that work together.
Yeah. Ah! Look at that. The facility may be able to transmit a signal to an asteroid flying by Earth and receive a signal back that will hint at the space rock's composition. So not only they can tell you what it's made out of before we shoot a rocket at it to knock it off course.
And the sound they get back is this. Beep, 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 beep. Because it's a large truck moving by.
Sounds like my scooter backing up.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah. Another experiment sent a radio beam to Jupiter, currently located about 374 million miles from Earth. The hope is that the beam would reflect off Jupiter's ionosphere and then be received at the New Mexico site. Boy, these kids have a lot of time. They just have a lot of time.
Hey, honey, how was your day? I shot a laser beam into space.
Into the ionosphere, hit Jupiter, came back to me, went beep, beep, beep. We ate lunch. We came home.
Yep. What are you doing tomorrow? Same thing.
Yeah, we're shooting stuff at other planets. It's good. Yep. It's good life. It's good life if you can get it. Another experiment is more on the artsy side. You ready for this?
Oh, God. Are they going to do a live concert someplace?
They're going to Burning Man, baby. No, I'm kidding. It's called Ghosts in the Air Glow. Yeah, they're going to Burning Man.
Sounds like an album.
It does, doesn't it? It's actually a collaboration.
It's like a techno album.
Yeah, it's a collaboration with the Police.
It's the Bruiser and the Cruiser, the Police, and the Migos all doing a tribute to the dead Migo.
Yeah, the dead Migo. He has a name. His name is Takeoff.
Okay, so Takeoff. This is our tribute to Takeoff. This is the album we're releasing.
Ghosts in the Air Glow. No, it's beamed video images, spoken word, and sound art into the ionosphere and waited for the signal to bounce back to test the transitional boundary of the atmosphere.
Have you heard sound art before?
No. What is it like?
In Milwaukee, they have Noise Fest is what it's called. And it's basically sound art is what it is.
Noise.
And there's a clip of a girl jumping on a trampoline going, I'm a cheerleader, I'm a cheerleader, I'm a cheerleader. Just over and over and over and over. It's like, what is this? They're like, this is sound art.
You know what we need?
What?
We need, here's our sound art for you. This is your project the next time you're at a gig. Here you go.
Okay.
I need you to jump up and down center of the ring and yell beer and boobies and beer and boobies and beer and boobies and have somebody record it on their phone.
You got it.
That's what I need. That's your sound art project for Darkness Radio. And then we'll make an NFT out of it.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'll be the deal.
I love beer and boobies.
Beer and boobies, beer and boobies. So HARP was originally a project of the U.S. Air Force, by the way, to study solar flare, which can disrupt Earth's community. Now I sound like Pat Patterson. I'm leaving out my S's. U.S. Air Force studies solar flare, which can disrupt Earth's communications and electrical grids. But in 2015, the Air Force decided it was no longer interested in maintaining HARP, and ownership transferred to the University of Alaska, which now runs HARP. So, by the way, there's no theories there, no conspiracy theories.
It's just a bunch of college kids having fun.
Yeah.
They have all this government stuff. Because if you think about it, wasn't it last year or the year before a solar flare knocked out like T-Mobile's service?
Yes.
If they would have stopped playing with planets and actually done what the thing was created for, they could have prevented that.
Yes. Yeah. While it was under the purview of the Air Force, HARP inspired some wild conspiracy theories, including that its antennas were being used to alter the weather, create deadly hurricanes, and even control mines. It didn't do any of that stuff, folks. Now it's just being used for sound art.
Beer and boobies and beer and boobies and beer and beer.
Boobies. Yep. Let me think here. Do we want to go to break or do we want to do this story? You know what? Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll talk about a Texas woman who got gored by a bison.
I bet she deserved it.
God. That is
she probably wanted to go pet it. It's like people that get eaten by their pet tigers. Well, yeah, you have a pet tiger. They're not supposed to be pets.
I want to pet the nice bison. That'll come up next. Also, there's a screaming tree in Oregon. And no, we're not talking about the band Screaming Trees. But yes, there's a screaming tree in Oregon. We'll talk to you about that. We'll talk about haunted objects.
Ooh, I like haunted objects.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the next segment. And we've got a woman who cooks recipes that she's found off of gravestones. That's coming up as well. It's the Halloween 2022 edition of Supernatural News here on Darkness Radio. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. It's a Supernatural News Wednesday. I'm the Cruiser. Over there is the Bruiser. And of course, we got stories galore. Stories. We promised you before the break we were going to talk about a Texas woman who videoed herself getting charged and gored by a bison. We got to think.
She videoed it. Okay.
Yeah, she took tape of it. You know, it's one thing to get gored by a bison. It's another to keep holding the camera while it's happening. I got to thank our buddy Tom for this story, by the way.
Oh, look at the bison. Oh, he's coming towards me.
We actually have the video. There's some salty language here, so you might want to turn this down if you're at work or around the kiddies.
I'd use salty language, too, if I was being gored by a bison.
Right? Oh, my God, here it comes. Oh, shit. Yeah, so we're going to play the video here as soon as we read the story. A hiker in Caprock Canyon State Park documented her encounter with a herd of bison along the trail. By the way, here's a clue for you kids. When you're up in the mountains, elk, bison, anything that's bigger than you and you know it, don't go up and pet it. Don't get within a few feet of it. Don't even get within running distance of it.
Right.
Because if it sees you and you lock eyes with it, you're already screwed. Yep.
Remember, they're wild animals.
Yeah.
Hence the word wild.
Yeah. And they don't like you.
No.
They don't.
Because they don't know what you are.
Right. They don't want to be petted. They don't want to eat out of your hand.
Nope.
They don't consider you a friend.
Nope. They think you are a threat, especially if there's young babies there.
Yep. You are an enemy.
Yep.
Just remember that.
It's not like Ziggy Star Pup walking around. You can pet her all you want because she's trained. Yep. She knows what humans are.
Yep.
She loves humans.
Yep.
But if you see her counterpart, which is a wolf, don't go pet it. Stay away.
Yep.
Because that wolf wants to eat you.
Yep. Not all animals love you.
No.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I think we've forgotten as humans.
I think so too. And I think it's because we have such access to animals on like these safaris and these trails where you can go and hand feed all this stuff. You know, like I saw a guy get his hand bit off by a shark because he was hand feeding sharks. Well, no kidding. They're sharks.
Right. Yeah. Dangerous animal. Yeah. Don't do that. So a hiker in Caprock Canyons State Park documented her encounter with a herd of bison along the trail. This is a rough one, by the way, folks. And her language does get a little salty, as you might imagine it would in this situation. According to People, the hiker in question is Rebecca Clark, who's not the smartest girl in her class. She says in one of several follow-up videos that the bison rammed her back, gored her, and threw her into a mesquite bush, which couldn't have felt good.
Oh, God, no. Mm-mm. So the bison was doing what bison do, huh?
Yes, a bison was being a bison.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't that cute, cuddly Buffalo Bills mascot that we're all used to?
No, imagine that. She was unable to call 911 due to limited phone service in the park. Get out of here, really.
There's a reason you go to a state park.
Yeah, just basically to be left alone. But was ultimately able to text loved ones for help. Help me, bison gore me, not very nice. Clark was hospitalized, but is okay now. You're lucky. She says she shared the video to encourage others to be careful while enjoying Texas state parks. How about you just not go near the bison?
You know, every chance she gets, she orders a bison burger to get her revenge.
That's right. I'm chewing.
Which have you had? They are amazing.
They are. They're very good.
So lean.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm chewing you because you chewed me up. That's what she's saying. So
hope this comes back to the person that hit me.
That's right. So here now is Rebecca Clark in the midst of her angst being run over by a bison. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
There you go. Keep going. I don't want to deal with them. I just want to go by. Come on, keep going. I just want to get by, okay? Thank you. I appreciate it. Didn't want to go through the bushes again. Oh, no. Oh, shit. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
That was it?
So, here's my take on this video.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, it's just the audio I heard.
Yeah.
She's lazy. Yep. Doesn't want to walk through bushes.
Yeah.
So she's trying to communicate to bison that don't speak English whatsoever.
Correct.
To just leave her alone, keep moving. Yep. Nothing to see here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then is totally shocked when she gets gored afterwards and pushed back into the bushes she didn't want to go through in the first place.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Like the bison, we're going to go, oh, sorry, ma'am.
Remember what you and I mentioned in the first part of this show about common sense?
Yeah. It's sorely lacking, isn't it? Yeah. I would walk as far away as I could, and I'd take on as many bushes as I could. Hey, if it's going to scrape me up a little bit, at least I'm scraped up and I'm alive. Yeah,
you put some ointment on it, some Neosporin, you're good.
That's right.
You're not hospitalized.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I from afar, I don't mind looking at it. I've seen bison. I think they're beautiful animals.
Yes, they are.
But if they're within running distance of me, no. I am now getting away. And I'm not turning my back to them either.
No. And she did.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yep.
So, okay, thank you, and turn around. The bison's like, oh, you're mine.
Yep. You turn around, and that to them is just a big old red flag to come get.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, Rebecca. Rebecca.
But it's so fluffy. It's so beautiful. It's so big and beautiful, and it's with its herd. Why would it chase me?
I'm just going to talk nice to it, and it'll be nice to me.
And you don't understand that I don't want to walk through the bushes again. I mean, those are bushes. It's going to let me through.
No, it's not.
No, it's going to do what a bison does.
Yeah.
How much you want to bet she blames the bison for that, too?
Yep. You fuck with the bison, you get the horns. That's what happens. Almost every time.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's funny how it's almost like it's science.
Yeah.
Go figure.
There's just a certain way you got to deal with animals, you know? Especially wild animals.
Yeah, deal with them like they're wild animals.
My uncle is an avid camper, and he camps in woods that bears frequent a lot, and he goes out of his way to have bear safety. And he's always said, you know, because he hangs his food up at night and all that. He goes, if you hear a bear in your campsite, don't open your tent. Stay in your tent.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, all the bear's doing is looking for food.
Yep.
And if you unzip your tent, that brings him attention, and he goes, oh, snack pack, and then comes and gets you.
Yep.
I'm going to have to share this story with him.
Yeah.
He will love it because he thinks people are idiots when this happens because they're wild animals. You're not at a zoo. You're at a state park.
Right. That's right. They don't look at you and go, zoinks, and run away.
Yeah, they don't see hundreds of people every single day.
Yeah, exactly.
They see maybe 10 a year.
Yeah. So, and they're not afraid of you.
No.
Not in the slightest.
Or they are afraid of you, and it's a fight or flight situation, and it goes, well, I'm bigger than you, so I'm going to fight.
Yep. And they take you on. Yeah. Yep. They lower their head. They put out the horns, and you're it. Yeah. Exactly. Speaking of things that might take you on, if you go to Oxford, I'm sorry, I said Oregon earlier. It's Oxford. There's a screaming tree-shaped creature there.
That's got to be scary.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're just walking
tree just starts screaming at me.
Yeah, just
I'd just be like, oh God, what was that?
I saw a video this weekend of a frog that when you push its hind end, it lets out this ear-curdling scream.
Love that. Isn't there something in Mexico with the screaming lady? Where you can hear her screaming?
Yeah, Tijuana, but I don't want to relive my college days.
Yeah. The good old donkey show is not what you're expecting.
Yeah, it wasn't really what I paid for, but you know, I don't know. I don't know the thing you're talking of.
Yeah, it's they made a movie about La something. I forgot. I gotta look it up. The name.
La Llorona.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Curse of La Llorona. Yeah,
and she's just screaming, like you can hear her screaming.
Yeah.
In
wailing.
I don't want to say it's Mexico City. Yeah, it's wailing.
She's wailing. Yeah.
Is there really a difference between screaming and wailing?
Yeah, wailing is more of a cry. Screaming is like a yeah. Wailing is more of a cry, but a scream involved with it. Yeah.
So you wail in pain, scream in fear?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then the wailing was there to lure in somebody to the river. You remember? Did you see the Curse of La Llorona?
No, I haven't seen the movie, but I know the legend, the urban legend.
Yeah, it was.
I've seen videos of people hearing her.
Yeah, it was to lure you to the river so that you could be drowned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like a mermaid.
Yeah. Well, she drowned 2 children in the river.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And the idea was for you to come to the river to try to save the children, but then you ended up being captured as well, or drowned as well. If I remember right, it's been a while since I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
I
know it's an urban legend.
Somebody's going to correct me on this because I know I'm half wrong on the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I just know that she wails, and you can hear it. I want to say it's Mexico City or something like that. And there's numerous videos of people sharing, you know, and I'm talking like not just 1 or 2 people. I'm talking like a town full of people all gather around because they hear this wailing.
Actually, our friend Ursula Bielski dressed up as La Llorona for Halloween.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was her costume.
Okay.
Interesting that you mentioned that. It was kind of cool.
Well, when I hear wailing ghosts, I mean, that's just, or this creature, that's what I think of right away.
Yeah.
Or the race of, what is it, Ireland? I think there's a race or something like
Banshees.
that. The Banshees, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just what I think of when I hear wailing or screaming.
No, Banshees scream.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So a screaming tree-shaped creature in Oxford is what we're talking about. If you keep your eyes open, Oxford, an unknown creature that is 4 foot tall. So basically it was my sister when she was younger.
I was going to say, it's my little sister.
Yeah. May emit a horrendous scream and is shaped like a tree. It was reported in town. An unidentified Oxford resident reported an unusual incident to the National UFO Reporting Center on August 4th of 2022. According to the report, they say that they saw an unknown lightning-fast bipedal creature which stood 4 foot tall, brown with skinny legs and tiny arms, tree-shaped, run across their driveway to neighboring property.
It just unplanted itself. And then replanted itself.
Yeah, very strange. Very strange. The incident report continues with no fur, no hair. When it ran, it didn't prance like most animals. I don't know that I'd be looking for prancing.
I wouldn't either. I picture it running with its arms up in the air going, ah!
I wish people could see you right now. It's a very funny image. Its legs were moving as if you were pedaling a bicycle. Oh, no, that's even funnier. That line makes me think of the little chest burst from Alien, but it also started creeping me out. Unidentified Oxford resident, it says here. I guess somebody's writing commentary as they're writing the article here. So forgive me if I throw in the commentary. The report concludes with an additional nugget of info, which was that 2 months ago during a heated owl fight, I don't know how many I've seen of those in my day.
I've never heard of this, but I love it.
I know, right? This is
it wasn't just an owl fight. It was a heated owl fight.
Right. I think if you look that up on YouTube, you get some pretty juicy stuff. Heated owl fights. The unidentified resident of Oxford heard an awful sound nearby, the source of which couldn't have come from the dreaded Oxford fisher cat or Oxford screech owls. And maybe that was related. That's where you lost me, Anonymous. It says, oh, they are adding their own commentary here. Nice. I won't read any further because it seems like they're throwing their own commentary in there. So screeching, screaming stick figure thingy in Oxford. It sounds.
That's Oxford, England, right?
It sounds to me like it might be a baby Groot.
I am Groot. I am Groot.
That's what they got in Oxford, it seems like. Let's talk about 6 cursed objects and the legends behind them.
These I'm always fascinated by these. I've told you I want to start a collection of haunted objects, but the Mrs. Bruiser won't let me have them in the house.
Yeah, I think you're sleeping out near the groundhog if you do that. Yeah.
I could keep it out. I told her I would keep it out in the shed by where Tank lives.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. I go, you don't go in the shed anyways. You're scared of it. Which I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect time to bring it. We all know that she's partly sensitive. Mm-hmm. She swears there's something in our shed.
Really?
Out back. Yeah. Because, you know, when we moved in and stuff, obviously nothing. We don't feel like nothing yet. But now she refuses to, when I open the doors to get, you know, lawnmower out or gardening equipment or whatever, she refuses to. It has like a little ramp that gets up into it, little stairs. Mm-hmm. It's a ramp. Mm-hmm. She won't even stand on it.
Really?
Only when I open the doors. She goes, I just don't get a good feeling. So
I wonder.
I'm curious. Yeah, that really, when the third time, because we had just replaced, I'd taken some stuff out to the shed because we're cleaning a spare room. Mm-hmm. She goes, these need to go to the shed and whatever. And I said, okay, well, you got to help me carry these. And she literally stopped and set it down before the ramp. And I said, what are you doing? I need your help. Still not have a good feeling. And that's when it hit me like, I'm going to talk to Tim about this.
Have you ever checked burial records on that property to see if anyone's buried on it?
No, this literally just happened Sunday. So That's why I'm talking to you now. I'm going to look it all up. That's on my list.
Yeah.
I have off this weekend, so I'm going to put my urban legend stuff aside, and I'm going to look into my property.
Yeah, do that. See if anyone's ever been buried on the property before.
I will.
Yeah.
And I'm going to research to see, because it's a creepy looking shed. I'll have to take a picture and send it to you. It's a creepy looking shed,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's a shed. It's great, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, she's gone in it twice since we moved here. And now she won't even get up on the wooden ramp to get up in it.
Interesting.
And she says it keeps growing, the feeling.
Really?
Yeah. And that's why yesterday when she said it again, and Tim, you know what scared looks like, you know, like she put it down and wouldn't, you know, and then the other thing too is Ziggy won't go near it either.
Really?
And I thought Ziggy didn't want to go near it because it's wooden ramp. She's never seen it before.
Yeah.
But right now, even she won't, like, because I always have her around me. When I go up in it, she'll sit there and she'll growl and she'll bark and won't go in it. So I put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, I got a project for this weekend.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Look into county records and see if anyone's ever been.
Well, I'm going to do that, but there's also some stuff in there that the old homeowners had left.
Okay.
So I'm going to look into some of that stuff too. There's a box in there I haven't opened yet, so I'm curious what's in there. Like, I'm just going to do my normal investigation. I'll bring my recorder out there.
Just look to see if anyone's died on the property. I doubt anyone's been legally interred there, but just if anyone's died on the property.
Okay.
Yeah. That might be your answer.
Yeah.
I bet.
I knew you'd get a kick out of that when I put the 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. That's interesting. Interesting.
And it just happened Sunday, so.
Huh.
Yep.
Interesting indeed.
I will report back hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. That sounds very interesting indeed. But we have 6 cursed objects here and the legends behind them. We'll kind of skim over them briefly. Maybe it's just best to steer clear of white lighters, medieval books, or Robert the Doll. I know Robert the Doll was featured recently on a shock doc on Discovery Plus. The story behind the world's most terrifying haunted doll, of course, is Robert the Doll. Since 1994, Robert the Doll has lived at the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida, but the comfortable digs, complete with humidity control and UV filtering glass, do not seem to have reformed Robert. The museum still gets regular reports of evils attributed to the doll. Robert has been blamed for car accidents, broken bones, job loss, divorce, and a cornucopia of other misfortunes. This is how one mathematician turned a number evil, and you thought 13 was scary. Belfeger's prime has 31 digits, but that's 13 backwards. 2 sets of 13 zeros, and at its heart, 666, the number of the beast. The eerie combination was popularized by author and mathematician Cliff Pickover, who is also to be credited with or blamed for the concept of vampire numbers. Believe it or not.
Okay.
That's one of them.
Okay.
The curse of the stolen amethyst are the misfortunes of those that have befallen or who possess it is just coincidence. It was stolen from India in the rebellion of 1857. This purple gemstone is now in the collection of the Natural History Museum in London. Despite a former owner's warning, whoever shall then open it shall first read out this warning and then do as he pleases with the jewel. My advice to him or her is to cast it into the sea.
Ooh.
Yeah. These medieval books are protected by horrifying curses. The book owners can be very protective of their libraries. To fend off the unscrupulous book owners in the Middle Ages used the only power they had, which was words. At the beginning or the end of books, they would write dramatic curses threatening thieves with pain and suffering if they were to steal or damage these treasures. If anyone takes, and this is the quote in the book, if anyone take away this book, let him die the death. Let him be fried in a pan. Let the falling sickness and fever seize him. Let him be broken on the wheel and hanged. Amen.
Wow.
It's the only time I've heard
crazy with that.
That's the only time I've heard amen at the end of a curse.
Yeah.
Gosh. Interesting.
And they're covering everything. Cannibalism, torture, sickness, everything.
Oh, yeah. They cover the whole gamut, don't they? There's a question, is this painting burning down houses? The British tabloid sure thought so. A mass-produced image of a crying boy was supposedly found untouched by fire among the ashes in several homes in England in the 1980s. The Sun, which estimated there were 30,000 copies of the seemingly harmless image threatening their owner's safety, offered to destroy the paintings that should see the back of any curse there might be. That's interesting.
So there's 30,000 of these?
30,000 of these images out there.
And each one is cursed.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
That's creepy. I'm
That
going to
is.
see what it looks like so I don't buy it.
I don't know that there's a picture.
It's called The Boy, you said?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Is this the picture? British tabloid was embellished the lore surrounding the crying boy curse. Is that the...
Oh, I've heard the crying boy curse.
Yeah, the crying boy. Yeah, it's right here. I have it right here.
Yeah, I know what picture that is.
Yeah, it's this one. Right here.
See if it's the same one I'm thinking of. Yep.
You know which one it is?
Yeah, I've seen that on what TV show was it? Where they cover, Robert Englund hosted it, and they cover like strange occults.
Oh yeah, I've seen that show too.
Curses and stuff. Yeah.
Why we fear white lighters? Have you ever had a white lighter in your time?
No, what's a white lighter?
You know, like a cigarette lighter.
Oh yes, I've heard this before. I've never had one, but I've heard they're not good. I know that there's a theory out there that the people that are part of that 27 Club, Kurt Cobain, Janis Joplin,
that's exactly what it is. Yep.
Yeah, they all had a white lighter next to their body.
Yep. The urban legend, as Bruiser just said, involves Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. There are all sorts of luck-related legends surrounding smoking. Some people turn one cigarette upside down in each new pack they buy, making it lucky. Others believe that lighting 3 or more cigarettes on the same match will bring on bad luck. And then there's the notion that using a white lighter can bring supreme misfortune. And just like Bruiser said, it was a white lighter that turned up next to Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin.
And Kurt Cobain and Soundgarden, Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell.
Yep.
Chester Bennington, he had a white lighter next to him. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Belushi,
Yep.
Chris Farley.
Yep.
Yeah.
White lighter's no good. There you go.
There's so many conspiracy theories around that white lighter too. So.
Yep. Another ghost story for you. We're getting into the spooky stuff now. We're getting into the ghost stories, and we do have an audio Parashare for you coming up here in just a bit. A reminder for you folks: so we do want your Parashare stories. We want your paranormal experiences. You can either send them to us by sending us an email, tim@darknessradio.com, or if you go to our website, which is darknessradioshow.com. There's a little blue button on the right-hand side of the website, or if you go on your phone, there's a little blue button there. You just click that button, and you can send us a voice note up to 2 minutes. If you need more time, you just click on that blue button again, send us another voice note. I'll take and stitch them together, and we'll play them right here on the show. And we've got one from Corey from Wisconsin.
Okay. Yeah, Corey said he's going to send one in.
Yep. So we've got Corey's story today. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. Villa Carpena, or Carpena, is an Italian mansion, and they say it's haunted by Mussolini's family ghosts.
Ooh.
Yeah. How would you like to have a ghost hanging upside down all day long? That's my own joke. I doubt it's hanging. Yeah, I doubt Benito's hanging upside down all day long. But it says showcasing fascist dictator Benito Mussolini's military uniform, his beloved motorbike, an iron cradle, and spooky bedroom mirror. Villa Carpena is clearly a museum unafraid of the dark side of history. But if the ick factor of visiting a place with connections to Adolf Hitler's wartime ally isn't enough, the owners of this mansion in Italy's northeastern Emilia-Romagna region say there's also a strong chance of bumping into his ghost while you're there as well. Located in Carpena, which is a tiny district in the city of, I believe it's Forlì, it's an I. The property is rumored to be haunted by several ghosts of the Mussolini family. the late Italian leader included. So he's there as well. I told you he was hanging upside down.
That's how you can tell him from the rest.
That's how you know it's him, right?
Yeah.
And locals claim to have proof as well, stacked with all sorts of personal objects and artworks that belong to the family. Villa Carpena, or Carpegna rather, was the Mussolini family's country retreat. Today, the Liberty-style yellowish mansion, also called the House of Memories, lures history buffs and scare seekers. Since it was purchased by an Italian businessman in 2000, its new owners and other invited guests claim to have experienced intense paranormal activities and supernatural happenings, some of which a team of self-proclaimed Ghostbusters say it witnessed and recorded, including a face in a mirror. This place is alive with their presence. They are all still here and we can feel them. They're constantly watching us, says Domenico Morosini, the current owner and operator of Villa Carpegna, with his wife Adele. I feel they respect us. We are not afraid, but we don't want to disturb these spirits. So I enter the villa when it is nighttime. The couple who live in an adjacent new building on the mansion's estate spent years on a global scavenger hunt to track and recover lost original pieces that originally belonged to the Mussolini family when they used to which they've used to furnish the villa. Italian interest in Mussolini, who held his country in thrall from 1922 to 1943 until Italy's World War II failures led him to be overthrown and arrested, has intensified, I'll get that out, in recent years. While many continue to condemn his fascist legacy, he remains a figure of fascination for better or for worse. After purchasing one of Mussolini's historical uniforms at an auction in the United States, Morosini says he took it back to the mansion, spreading it out on the bed Mussolini shared with his wife, Donna Rochelle, the same bed in which she died, not him. He, of course, died upside down in the town square. That day, there was a medium with us, and the person felt sick, had to sit down, and whispered, "He is here." Straight after, the dark shadow of Mussolini's face appeared in the bedroom vanity table mirror and has been there since, as if it were printed on the glass, more than a mere reflection, adds Morosini. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tourists on guided tours of the villa are invited to peer into the shadowy face, too, to get a glimpse of the distinctive square jaw, high forehead, and prominent nose of the infamous dictator, who was executed as he tried to flee the country with his girlfriend in the final days of World War II in 1945. Morosini says he has witnessed other eerie events, too. I've heard gusts of strong wind inside the villa during the day and noises of footsteps across the corridors. Rochelle Mussolini and several of her children lived in the villa for decades following their post-war return from exile on Ischia Island. Morosini says he has a passion for memorabilia from the past and bought the mansion from one of Mussolini's sons, extensively renovating it with antique furniture and decor. Regardless of their beliefs in the paranormal, visitors get to see the rooms where Mussolini's kids slept. Baby Mussolini's iron cradle, that's just creepy, an iron cradle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Built by his cobbler father, his skis, violin, private studio, and a number of lavish gifts that he received during his rule, including a tapestry from Ethiopian Emperor, I believe it's Haile Selassie, and a sacred Mount Fuji boulder donated by Japanese Emperor Hirohito. Wow, there's all kinds of things on display there. Also on display are family clothing items such as handmade socks and hats, chandeliers, artworks, old photos of Mussolini riding a bike, the Mussolini couple's vintage scooters and cars, and the tractor used by Rochelle, who came from a humble farming family. Benito Mussolini, who hailed from a nearby village of Prodapio, built Villa Carpegna in 1924 after marrying Rochelle, who was living in an adjacent farmhouse deemed by the newlyweds too small for a growing family with children. Rochelle's former dwelling now hosts the museum's ticket office and gift shop, which sells Mussolini-branded gadgets and postcards of old family photos.
That's as creepy in itself.
Yeah, a little bit. The mansion, which Morosini defines as large yet simple, reflecting the daily life of what was actually quite an ordinary family, is set within a lavish park with gravel lanes. The garden features a gazebo where Mussolini used to read the morning paper on a stone table, and the straw and drywall children's playhouse with kitchen and bathroom that he built for the children. The park where wisteria planted by Mussolini survives used to be a rural patch of land used by Rochelle's family to grow vegetables, fruit trees, and breed livestock. Her old aviary is still there, swarming with turtle doves. After Morosini bought the place, he said weird things started to happen. Word rapidly spread that the estate was haunted, luring the curiosity of professionals who specialized in the paranormal. In 2013, a bunch of ghost hunters asked to visit and reportedly stayed overnight, claiming to have captured disquieting events in the dark. We recorded on tape what sounded like the feeble voice of a woman. When we played it, the old villa keeper freaked out and jumped from his chair, whispering that he had recognized the voice of Rochelle, says Andrea Puglisi of Ghost Hunter Padova, a group of Italian paranormal investigators. The noise of a plane was also recorded, says Puglisi, noting that it could have been linked to Mussolini's son Bruno, who was an aviator and died prematurely in a plane crash in 1941. Thermal images were also taken that night, he adds, showing several red-hot patches on Mussolini's favorite motorbike handles and tank, which, according to the investigator, could be a sign that his spirit had touched it, moved by nostalgia. The most incredible event occurred when we placed a torch on the dining table where the family ate. We asked for a sign, and at our request, it suddenly turned on and then off again, says Puglisi. When the ghost hunter team arrived and then started setting up the equipment, he says he perceived a vibe of hostility as if we were not welcome, but in the evening, the ambiance changed and became less tense. Puglisi prefers not to talk about ghosts, but rather of anomalies and presences that are still attached to the house where they were experienced happy moments and do not want to abandon it. They've remained tied to that past, far from atrocious things, and it's no secret that Rochelle herself was an esoteric woman who held seances and kept salt pots in the house to ward off evil. Morosini confesses that after allowing the Ghostbusters inside the villa, he felt sick for an entire year, noting that it struck him only much later that the spirits may have been unhappy about the intrusion. But Villa Carpegna is not the only place in Italy rumored to be haunted by Mussolini. On the ancient Via Appia road connecting Rome to Latina, a city founded during fascism, locals often claim to hear and see Mussolini's ghost cruising past on his red Guzzi motorbike, goggles and leather cap included, to go meet his lovers at night. Marco Buonasorte Morricone, I believe it is, who handles Villa Carpegna's guided tour, says that visitors are curious to discover the human private side of Mussolini, who'd escaped to the mansion to spend time with his family. He apparently never invited any of his fascist cronies over. You can really breathe history in here, and people I accompany all perceive this beyond their political creed, he says. What is striking is how everything in the villa seems to be frozen in time. You can see Rochelle's pension book hanging on the kitchen wall, the phone used by Mussolini to call the government headquarters in Rome, and even the bomb splinters removed from his body during the Great War, which is World War I. There's so many original historical pieces, and each one comes with its own story. We strongly invite people to explore this incredible place, adds Morricone. The upper floor of Villa Carpegna hosts a cultural research center that's filled with over 5,000 historical documents and vintage magazines for people interested in digging further into the fascist era and the Mussolini family. And interestingly enough, there's contact information for Villa Carpegna as well. It's an interesting article in that, I don't know, Bruiser, would that be something that you would want to investigate? The villa of a former fascist dictator?
I would for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, I love anything paranormal, and to debunk stuff would be great. But two, I'm also a big history buff. I actually went to college to be a history teacher. So World War II is one of my favorite time periods in history, World War II and the Civil War. So it'd be great to go and all that stuff you listed that they have there is just amazing stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to go see how he lived and whatnot. And then he's throwing the paranormal on top of it. It's kind of like going to Gettysburg,
Yeah. The fact that, well, the energy seems culpable, the fact that it seems like it's an active haunting, and the fact that the caretaker was sick for up to a year after they let some paranormal investigators in tells me that there's a culpable negative presence there. And if Mussolini is still there and is that culpable of a negative energy, that says something. And here's the thing, we've always talked about whether there's a presence of Hitler in a negative spirit form or not. Mm-hmm. The fact that somebody is claimed to have felt Mussolini's presence in the afterlife is interesting. And the fact that nobody is claimed to have, I shouldn't say nobody, our friend Chris Fleming claims to have made contact with Hitler, at least channeled him or tried to channel him. But there's been... Well,
I don't think Hitler's is widely accepted. If nobody's doing Hitler tours of Germany. No. And in fact, when you go to Germany, they don't even mention him,
Right.
Where Mussolini, as evil as he was, this was his known villa. They obviously made it a museum to him, not only him, but his family. So I can see getting the negative feelings because he was he was a very evil person.
Oh, I would say, I don't want to put him on par with Hitler, but he was maybe a step below. He was a tyrant, a despot,
Yeah. Hitler, obviously, because he ordered a whole genocide, but I don't think, no one's going to Hitler's childhood home. No one's going to, and towards the end of Hitler's life, he was constantly moving around and hiding because he was so paranoid. Where would he haunt? You know what I mean? We don't know what would he be haunting. So that's why I don't think it's coming out as public knowledge of people saying, yeah, Hitler has a presence here. I'm sure some places in Germany might claim it to get tourists in, but it's not this is his home. This is his family's home. This is his car. These are their scooters. This is his mirror. You know what I mean? They're actually owning everything to it. So that negative energy obviously is going to be there. Where with Hitler, they wanted to erase him from history so quickly, I think they got rid of a lot of his stuff, or it spreads throughout the world.
True. Although I think it's not a matter of is Hitler's presence in different places. I think it probably is. It's whether you can get access to those places, if the German government would give you access to those places.
Correct. And I don't think the German government's talking about, we have Hitler's ghost here. Yeah. He walks the halls, and
they don't want to acknowledge it.
You can hear him giving speeches. They don't. Yeah. That's a very bad part. Not that it's a great part of Italy's history, but it comes down to the fact the Italian government's not hiding the fact that this is his villa. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. Although it's a devastating part of their history, it's not as devastating as in comparison. It's not as devastating as, say, Hitler is to Germany.
Right.
Let's move on. Let's go talk about the Enfield poltergeist. And the photographer of that situation is remaining perplexed 45 years after that situation. Graham Morris was the man who captured photographic evidence during the infamous poltergeist case. There are few paranormal cases as widely debated as the Enfield poltergeist, a spate of chilling paranormal incidents that occurred from 1977 to 1979 at the home of mother of four Peggy Hodgson in Enfield, London. Over the course of 18 months, the unexplained disturbances occurring at the house escalated from items of furniture being shaken to objects being thrown around, loud knocking sounds, and most terrifyingly of all, the alleged possession of 11-year-old Janet, one of the Hodgson's four children. Several people, including multiple police officers, witnessed these events. Notable researcher Maurice Gross from the Society of Psychical Research spent significant amounts of time observing and recording the poltergeist activity at the house. Photographer Graham Morris was also tasked with capturing photographic evidence of the phenomena. This call came in from the family. They were spooked out by the whole thing, Morris told Metro. I went in, I saw things happen, and it convinced me there was something happening in the house, so I stayed on, and I was there for months after that. I was convinced that something was happening, and then I stayed on night after night, and all sorts of things happened. Chairs moved, cupboards opened, drawers opened, beds turned, over all sorts of things. So it all convinced me there was something happening. I was convinced that something was happening in the house, and I was convinced that the children or no one was behind it. No one was doing it, he went on to say. Unlike many, however, by the time he had left the house for the final time, he did not believe that these occurrences were the work of a ghost. Instead, he attributed them to something purely scientific, but admits that even today, 45 years on, he cannot explain what took place. One day, we'll find out, he added. So he doesn't think it was a ghost at all, just something scientific.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that's probably the third most famous haunting in the paranormal world for, Amityville, Conjuring House, Enfield?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
In the pictures he took, if I remember correctly, isn't one like the daughter's up in the air above a bed in a red dress?
Yes.
Or is that the Conjuring House?
No, I believe you're right. Yeah. In fact,
So how could that be a sign? I don't understand how that could be a scientific thing.
Well, I guess for lack of a better understanding or term, there are ways to, in a cynic's mind or a skeptic's mind, to dismiss it as ghostly activity when you think of like a telekinesis or the ability to levitate oneself or you've played light as a feather, stiff as a board before, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you've been able to see it firsthand, somebody looking like they've physically raised themselves off the ground.
Yeah.
But that would be an extreme case.
Yeah.
When one's in a situation where they can't quite wrap their heads around something and they're there to do a job, depending on your state of mind, whether you're a skeptic or a believer, sometimes you jump to what it is you believe in first. And I think with Graham Morris, I think he took one look at it and said, well, I don't believe this is ghostly. First of all, it could be anything from magnetism and drawing out the iron in the blood and lifting something to something having to do with science that something I can't explain because I don't have that knowledge. Mm-hmm. But not necessarily anything supernatural.
Okay.
Yeah. But the first thing he grabs for is science because it has to be something he can explain.
It's something he can wrap his head around.
Yeah, not something necessarily that is unexplainable. So,
right.
Which
I know his photographs are probably some of the most famous photographs out there.
Oh yes, yeah, most definitely. You know what? Let's go to our Parashare. By the way, again, folks, let's remind you, if you have a paranormal experience you want to share with us, just send us an email, tim@darknessradio.com. We'll read your email here on the show and we'll weigh in if you'd like us to. Otherwise, you can go to darknessradioshow.com. There's a blue button on the right side of the page, and you can click that blue button, leave us a voice note. You have about 2 minutes to leave us a voice note. If you can't get the story in that 2 minutes, just click the blue button again, leave another 2-minute voice note. I'll stitch them together and we'll play it here on the show. Today's Parashare story comes from Corey in Wisconsin, and Corey has this to say.
Greetings, Cruiser and Bruiser. This is Corey calling in from Wisconsin. The tale I have for you today is of my first UFO sighting, or one of my first. I live in central Wisconsin, and I just happened to be driving into a town called Reedsburg. And I was on my phone with my mother, and we were just having a normal conversation. I happened to look up, and it was a pretty bright blue sky that day. And I just happened to notice this fairly large tic-tac shaped object in the sky. And I watched it for about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm describing everything to my mom, and just going down the road, and I'm seeing it, I'm watching it, and I happen to look down to make a turn, and the blasted thing was gone when I looked back up. No idea where it went. Couldn't have hid behind a cloud because there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I just honestly don't know what it is, don't know where it went. And the only thing I can come up with to this day is it was either a very sneaky drone or it was ET. And I only say that because the town I was driving to is basically right smack dab in between two military bases, one of which used to be like 30th on the list for possible landing sites for the space shuttle. And I really can't explain it. I've never seen anything like that. It was one of the strangest things I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of strange things. But thank you for the shows, Cruiser and Bruiser. I really appreciate everything. Can't wait to hear the next one.
There you go.
Very cool. I know exactly what town he's talking about, too.
Huh. Okay.
I've driven through it many, many, many times. I've probably driven through the area he was looking at and saw that. And he's right. Like, clear blue sky, you're going to see that, especially out in that area. There's not a lot blocking your view of the sky. So, but I get what he's saying, too. The two military bases are right there. And he's absolutely right. One of them was going to be a landing spot for a shuttle. And I don't know if they're doing research or something out there. That could have been because of the two bases. They're not Air Force bases. I know that.
What I'm curious is there any nuclear activity out there or anything having to do with extreme weapons that are being developed out there?
Not to my knowledge, and I don't see why they'd be doing that there.
Okay.
There's a lot that it's populated, you know.
Okay.
It's not like a giant desert or a giant prairie or you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the area he's describing, if I'm in the same area as him, the two military bases are there, and I don't think it could be a drone, but how would a drone escape that fast? Unless the military is working on something real fast. But they're not really weapons testing sites. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
At least not public knowledge weapon testing sites.
Okay. The reason I ask that is because, as you know, a lot of UFOs tend to show up around heavily armed military sites, testing sites, nuclear weapon sites. You know, they tend to hang out and just to make sure that we're minding our P's and Q's. Put it that way. So it wouldn't surprise me if that base were heavily armed or you know, if there was something going on at that site that they were there just to kind of keep tabs on things.
They could also just been there checking on the two military bases.
Yeah.
You know?
True. Very true.
Or they could, you know, I'm trying to think if there's a lot of farmland. Yeah. I don't know. Tic-tac shaped, you know. It could be. I don't think it's a drone. I'd throw the drone right out the window. Could be something military because you know the bases are right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know if they'd be flying between the two bases, which they could have been.
Maybe.
But to be as quick as he said, because you know, stopping the turn. Mm-hmm. mean, how long does that take you? A couple seconds.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Again, if you want to send in your Parashare story, you can do that by either emailing us, tim@darknessradio.com, or by just sending us a voice note. Go to darknessradioshow.com, click on that blue button. You have 2 minutes to send your voice note, or if you want to put in an addendum, just click that blue button again. I'll stitch the audio notes together and we'll play it right here on the show. But please send us your Parashare stories and we'll play them right here on the air, or put them out right here on the air. Let's continue on. We asked the question earlier, why don't you ever hear about new ghosts? We have a lot of old ghosts out there.
Yeah, we don't really know what the time frame is from when someone dies to when their ghost can appear.
Yeah.
Because all the ghosts we talk about are of old ghosts.
Right.
So what happened, like my father-in-law we lost in 2013. Is he a ghost now?
Who knows?
What's the time frame?
Right. But you never hear of a ghost who knew about Obama or says anything about Obama. You never hear about a ghost who had an iPhone. The article is an interesting one that I have in front of me. It talks about Emily, a lovesick teenager who is said to haunt the bridge in Stowe, Vermont that she jumped from in 1805. President Abraham Lincoln's ghost has been spotted numerous times at the White House since his assassination in 1865. Hardware merchant Seabury Treadwell. There's a name. That's an underwater needlepoint name if I've ever heard of it.
It sure is.
Seabury Treadwell. And his family apparently haunt the New York City home that was in their keep until 1933. Now a museum, the Treadwells are said to remain roaming the halls, spooking guests and charming the New York Times, it says here. You're always hearing about old ghosts like this, a Civil War soldier, an old-timey nun, a sea captain who died when fishing boats were a new concept. They all get their glory. All of the documentation in books with titles like 32 Ghost Stories of the American South and all the attention around Halloween. What you don't hear about, however, is newer ghosts. Ghosts who know who Obama is. Ghosts who had an iPhone. Maybe a guy who got so frustrated with his lagging smart TV that he had a heart attack. Right?
Maybe the ghosts are too busy posting on social media.
Right. Right. A guy who got frustrated with his Tinder profile.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And now his energy won't let anyone in that location reliably stream anything. Right. Why is that? Aren't there any newer ghosts? Well, Kathy Towell, a medium and energy healer, tells the writer of this article, there are ghosts created all the time. But she clarified that some things perceived as hauntings, a figure walking up and down a staircase or a face in a mirror, might not be a visit from a spirit at all. That's what I would call a place memory, she said. A memory recorded where some intense thing happened or somebody did a repetitive motion. These things are more like energetic residue than a visit from another realm. Spirits usually don't hang around this plane, she said. In most cases, they go wherever they're going. While Towell doesn't have the scoop on exactly where they go, she said that when they get there, they have the ability to come back and communicate with us if they'd like to. But that tends to be a different sort of communication than what we know of as a haunting. It's usually kind of a more spiritual and uplifting interaction. Then there are the spirits who don't transition. They don't transition because there's either been a trauma or they think they have to stay or they're confused. They don't even know that they're dead. They're just kind of stubborn rebels who have decided they want to hang out here. She noted that New York City was thick with spirit early in the COVID pandemic due to due to an abundance of new spirits who, and I'm paraphrasing, it says in the article, didn't know what the F was going on. These spirits generally need a push to move on, a transitioning ritual, an offering, or the ability to communicate a message. So why don't you hear as much about them as you hear about spirits from the 1800s? Well, the quote is, I think some of the spirits that have been stuck for a longer time period have maybe figured out more about how to make their presence known, Towell said. because they've been here longer. Methods of communication tend to include showing up on audio recordings, flickering lights, and blowing out light bulbs. The newly hatched spirits that get stuck here maybe haven't figured all that out, so they don't know how to communicate, she said. That's just my observation as somebody who has dealt with different manifestations of spirit over the years. One common caveat, though, is from people who are visited from recently passed loved ones. Their experiences of the newly deceased can be very real. Amanda Paulson, a paranormal investigator, had an experience like this. She and her boyfriend recently visited her boyfriend's father's house for the first time since his death. While in the hot tub outside, they saw his bedroom light flicker on and off. At the same time, the hot tub's display panel, which had never worked, started displaying random letters and numbers. We went inside to make sure no one was there and decided to ask his dad to move something for us in case it was him trying to say hi. She said not even 10 seconds later, a jacket was pulled off a chair right in front of us. It's totally normal for us to picture the stereotypical Victorian ghost, thanks to scary movies, Paulson said, but ghosts can absolutely be a result of recent events. That probably makes you wonder why we don't see more about modern hauntings then. And yes, actually, that's my main cue. Well, and here's the quote, well, maybe we aren't hearing about them yet. Maybe the family isn't ready to tell the story. Maybe investigators haven't had a chance to investigate yet. She said that while spirits may remain attached to a home, object, or person because they have unfinished business or for some reason a lot of their power comes from the living who have chosen to tell their story, we breathe new life into spirits every time we talk about them, she said. The living have a lot more to do with the paranormal than we realize. In closing, it says, so I guess we either have to find these new ghosts ourselves or wait for someone to tell us about them. Maybe in 100 years, if human beings are still around, they'll pass on stories about a presence that haunts the halls of my apartment building, an eerie voice sometimes heard at night. Why do I have to log in to every app every time I want to watch something? The voice will say eerily, I hate Roku. This is the ghost speaking, by the way. What could that possibly mean? The future living people will wonder. Our smart TV is annoying, but it basically works. And then the voice will say, F you, you know it sucks. In other words, the ghost will be mad at its Roku, and you'll pick it up on an EVP.
Yeah.
And that spirit will be right. So,
or your EVP will be nothing but like LOL.
Yeah.
FAO.
Yeah.
JK.
Emoji. So yeah, that's basically it. 2 stories left here on Supernatural News today. A woman cooks recipes that she found on gravestones as a hobby. I don't know that this is going to be the best thing you've ever had to eat yet this week.
Yeah, because those got to be old recipes.
Sometimes the old recipes aren't the best recipes. Just saying.
No, because they use crap to cook it. Lard is used a lot back then.
Actually, sometimes my grandma cooked with lard. It was pretty good.
My dad is known for cooking with bacon grease. He saves all the bacon grease. So when you open his fridge, he's got a huge pot of just bacon grease.
See, that can be kind of good. I don't know. Your dad
it can, but not on everything.
He
cooks it with everything. And you got to think, too, some of these, you go back to like the Depression era, nothing went to waste.
No, nothing did. Yeah.
I heard a story about how a grandmother used to make the kids, in the morning, you'd eat your raisin bran, at night, you'd have banana or bread pudding as your dessert. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And one day the kid was curious how, because grandma had the best bread pudding. Mm-hmm. Well, he caught her one day that after they got done eating breakfast, she took all the remaining cereal and dumped it into the bread pudding and mixed it up because she grew up in the Depression and you never let anything went to waste.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm curious about these recipes because they did stuff like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right.
We got fruitcake from somewhere. That's the most disgusting holiday thing ever.
You don't like fruitcake?
Oh, God, no. And I've tried it. I have tried it. No.
See, I'm okay with eating it once during the holidays.
I try every year just because it might be the year my taste buds have changed and I like it. And every year I don't like it.
Huh. No, I like it once during the holidays, just once. Then I'm okay. Then I'm good. You know what I like that a lot of people don't like? I like eggnog.
Oh, I love eggnog. Yeah. Eggnog's the greatest.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like it.
Eggnog with a little bit of whiskey. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I enjoy it. But a U.S. woman recently went viral for dedicating herself to a very unusual hobby, cooking recipes etched into people's gravestones. Who does that, by the way?
There's probably a grandmother out there had probably the best, lemon bars in the world, and they thought, you know what, Grandma was proud of this. Let's put it on there.
I guess.
Maybe Betty Crocker. She has stuff on there.
Betty Crocker. She put a whole cookbook on there.
Mrs. Fields. She's probably got it. Mrs. Butterworth. She's got it on there.
Cookie recipe would be good to put on there. Cooking recipes etched into people's gravestones is a unique way of remembering and celebrating their lives. About a year ago, Rosie Grant was studying library science at the University of Maryland and interning in the archives of the Congressional Cemetery. At one point, she started a TikTok account and started sharing facts about her studies with the internet. And it was this foray into the world of cemeteries that led her to her first gravestone cooking recipe. It was for Spritz cookies. Featured only 7 ingredients and included no instructions. But Rosie managed to use it to make something edible, and the experience just left her hungry for more gravestone recipes. Okay, so I have a picture here of Kay's fudge. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
I'll give you the recipe over the air, so anybody who's listening can make Kay's fudge.
But there's no directions. It's just
Oh, no, there's directions.
Oh, okay. So Kay had it on her gravestone. Okay.
She has it. Yeah, she has one huge block next to her children's gravestone for Richard and Janet and everybody else. Kay's fudge is listed. And it says at the end of the recipe, it says, wherever she goes, there's laughter. It says Kay's fudge, 2 squares of chocolate, 2 tablespoons of butter, melt on low heat, stir in 1 cup of milk, bring to a boil, 3 cups of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, pinch of salt, cook to softball stage, pour on marble slab, cool and beat and eat. There you go.
Okay. Thank you, Kay.
That's Kay's fudge. You can thank Kay in the afterlife. Just saying.
If it's good.
If it's good. Now, you may ask yourself, what were Spritz cookies and how did she, and we'll give you that here in a second.
Okay.
To figure out exactly how Rosie came up with Spritz cookies and how she made sense of it all. Because there's really not.
7 ingredients, you said.
There's 7 ingredients and no instruction. So we'll tell you in a second. So she says, cooking these recipes has shown me an alternative side to death. 33, and she's only 33. 33-year-old Rosie Grant said, it is a way to memorialize someone and celebrate their life. After her original TikTok video of baking the gravestone recipe went viral, Grant started searching for similar recipes and managed to find a few all over the United States. She has spent the past year finding more gravestone recipes, and she has started to stumble upon a few gems. In a Utah cemetery, Rosie discovered the final resting place of Kay Andrews, who we just gave the fudge recipe for.
Yes.
Okay. Engraved on her gravestone. This time with some simple but clear instructions. The fudge turns out great, by the way, if you decide to make it.
Okay.
It's great. But the real treat was learning Kay's story, bearing her family talk about what made her special, and learning that the woman had always liked to share things with people. Other recipes include the nut rolls etched into the gravestone of one Ida Kleinman in Israel, or another American woman who has the recipe to a savory cheese dip etched into her gravestone. Right? So far, she has cooked 12 or 13 such gravestone recipes, and she's already looking for more to share with her TikTok followers. When we are
good, she found a hobby.
Yeah, exactly. When we're in mourning, food is very comforting to us, Rosie said. These recipes feel like a more tactile, all senses included way to remember someone rather than using your memory.
Especially if you live in the Midwest.
Oh, God,
every time someone passes away, you get at least 30 casseroles.
Yes, indeed. But when you're eating grandma's special cake or cookie or whatever it is, you feel a little bit more connected to her. Rosie Grant told the Washington Post that she would love to visit all the gravestones whose etched recipes she has used so far as a form of respect to the people buried there. My goal is to go to all of them, she said. I would love to cook the recipe and taste it at their graveside as a cheers to this person who gave this gift to me and to everybody else. Well, that's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really special. So here's the recipe for Spritz cookies. Now, this tells you how talented Rosie is.
Okay.
In the kitchen. Okay, here we go. This is all she was given, and then she made the cookies.
Okay.
1 cup of butter or margarine, 3/4 cup sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 egg, 2/4 cup or 2 1/4 cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, 1/8 teaspoon salt.
Okay.
No instructions on how to put it together.
Mix and bake.
What? I doubt you just throw it all in a bowl and go.
That's what I'd do.
Well, I don't know that it would turn out the same.
Yeah.
But Rosie figured it out.
Did she let everybody know too?
Yes, on her TikTok she does.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she tells you on her TikTok. So, yeah. She's a good-looking gal. Just saying. Yeah.
I'm going to throw her off and send her there's a Tool song where they give his grandmother's recipe for apple pie. But you don't use eggs because eggs represent Satan. But it's all in German. And he's like yelling it. So people thought it was when the song came out, they wanted him to apologize to the Jewish community because they thought it was, propaganda and stuff. And he's like, no, like translate it. It's my grandmother's recipe for apple pie, but don't use the eggs because the eggs represent Satan. But it's because of the way they put it together. It sounds like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's great. And like
evil.
little, because it came out in '96. He didn't have the internet was real infant.
Yeah.
And it just I remember causing an uproar. And then because they didn't include the lyric sheets, and then you have someone decipher it, and you're like, what? That's it.
That's what it is. That's all it is. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he did that. Was he just wanted to prove that don't jump to conclusions.
That's right. Our final story today is an absolute nonsensical story again we got from our buddy Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
And it's not one of those not safe for work stories. Everybody can listen to this story. I just find it funny because it came from the Shane Company.
What's the Shane Company?
The Shane, you hear the radio ads from the Shane Company. They're a jeweler. Oh,
yeah.
You're going to like the way you look, I guarantee it type of guys,
Yep.
Yeah, except for that's Men's Warehouse. But, they have the guy has got the monotone voice and, you're going to come in and find a ring and you're going to love it and blah, 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 blah. And we're open on Sundays and da, 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 da. And he talks like this. He sounds like the Men's Warehouse guy. So their article that they put on their website gave the best U.S. cities to be a dragon.
To be a dragon?
A dragon, yeah, like the mythical animal.
Rawr.
Yeah, like rawr. What that has to do with selling engagement rings and wedding rings, I have no idea.
You never know. Some people are like, I would marry you, but you're not a dragon.
But you're not a dragon. Well, you'll be dragging me down in the finance department, if you know what I mean. And I don't have my rim shot up here. I'm sorry. I gotta, let me get,
I love you. You're a great person. You're a wonderful person, but you're just not a dragon.
You're going to be dragging down my wallet in a few years. You know what I mean? There we go. Dragging me down into depression in a few years. Dragging me down to the depths of hell.
This life is just going to drag on when I'm with you.
So, Shane Company says the best U.S. cities to be a dragon. The way they set it up is they say, from the recent release of the new Game of Thrones spinoff House of the Dragon to the rapidly approaching Renaissance Fair season, which we're smack dab at the end of. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty much over, yeah.
It's pretty much over. It feels like the time of the dragon is upon us in the spirit of some autumn date nights that might be dragon themed in the coming months. The team here at Shane Company wanted to explore the idea of the folk legends a little more. While dragons are almost certainly not real, they're not?
No.
We decided.
Then what did Donkey marry in Shrek?
They'll map out the regions of the U.S. which would most likely be the most likely to thrive, from habitats to food sources to treasure hotspots. They've considered it all. I'm glad they have the time to do this. Evidently, sales are slow at Shane Company.
Well, yeah, it's not the holidays yet. Everyone gets engaged around the holidays.
That's right.
You know, December through February, that's their go-to time. And then June, July, and August is their wedding time. This is their off season. So
that's right. A lot of salespeople sitting around with their thumbs up their ass. But
their days are just dragging on.
But if you'd put a ring in that thumb that's up your ass, you'd be able to take 3 months' salary and afford a good one. American dragons, according to them, would flock to Western cities.
Okay.
Because they could afford that 3 months' salary for that ring. The higher elevations and large parklands of cities like Albuquerque, New Mexico, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Provo, Utah.
Come on. They won't like Utah.
Why is
Dragons love caffeine.
They love what?
Caffeine.
So
in Utah, you can't have caffeine in Utah.
You can't?
The Mormons won't let you.
Oh God.
Look it up. You can't. Or alcohol. Dragons love alcohol.
They do, huh?
Yeah, think about it.
All right.
They always have chalices.
True. Yeah.
What do you think they do with those chalices? They fill it with mead and drink it.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't believe Provo, Utah.
Well, so the Shane Company's lying already. There's a shock, a salesperson lying.
In Vegas, they just live at medieval times.
That's true. According to them, the worst city for dragons. Oh, they better get ready to get righted upon. Are you ready for this?
I bet you they don't have a store in this city.
Indianapolis, Indiana. Are you ready? Here's the city that's going to get them. Okay. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
What?
Yeah.
Dragons love cheesesteaks.
I know, right? And for some reason, Columbia, South Carolina. Why did they pick on South Carolina?
I don't know. Columbia's nice.
Yeah, I know. They say due to their lower elevations, fewer food sources, and lack of parkland.
I can see the lack of parkland in Philadelphia and Indianapolis. Well, not Indianapolis because it's Indiana, and Indiana's flat.
I would think the dragons would like the, they like the accent. You know, hey, how you doing? hey, you over there. Hey. You know, I think they'd like the tough attitude over there in Philly.
I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. I got your chalice over here. I got something you can cup. I think they'd like that attitude. Who knew?
And I think they like the southern hospitality of South Carolina.
Yeah, you never know. So what does a dragon look for in a city? Well, considering the most ideal areas of the U.S. for a dragon to make their home, I'm just laughing at this article. It's important to know a few things. Dragons would how do they know what dragons would favor? Dragons would favor areas of high elevation, places with plenty of parkland, and relatively low greenhouse gas emissions for a clean environment. Mm-hmm. And cities that don't have many aviation facilities clogging up their airspace.
So why Vegas? Vegas has got to have tons of air traffic.
Right? There's planes going in and out of Vegas all the time.
Yeah, I get Provo, Utah. No one's going to Utah. But they said Vegas? No. There's so much air. Like, that's 24 hours flights.
Yeah. Shane Company says they've also considered nearby mountain peaks and bodies of fresh water. They're so considerate.
So why not the Great Lakes region?
Right.
Or here in North Carolina in Tennessee and Kentucky, the Appalachians.
See? I know. Cities with higher population density, fewer physically active people, and tons of cattle per capita perform better in our rankings, Shane Company said, because the dragons wouldn't want to work too hard when dinner time comes around.
So they're forgetting North and South Dakota?
Yep. I know.
Texas? Hello?
Well, we'll get to that. When on the hunt, they say the higher the number of homes without basements, the better. What?
Why is it that? Well, they don't want to deal with all those people living in their mom's basement.
Right.
Those internet keyboard warriors. The dragons don't want to deal with that crap.
I know. They say there's no place to hide if they don't have a basement. The fire-breathing...
The dragon's going to be flying along. Like, oh, no, I'm just a dragon. Need a new home. Oh, there's a nice... Oh, no. Every house has a basement. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
There's a dragon knock on the door. Hey, I'm a dragon.
By the way,
basement?
You got any basements in your house? I don't want to have to look too hard for my food.
Like, how does the dragon... Like, I didn't know until I moved to North Carolina that not every house comes with a basement.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, we have crawl space. We don't have a basement.
Yeah, no basement.
Yeah, and it or a garage, because you don't need it.
Yeah, you don't need it. No.
So what, dragons know that? I didn't know that, and I lived in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
fire-breathing dragons would want to avoid areas with too many fire departments and military bases because they would stop the dragon from wreaking havoc. They are also said to hoard treasure, so cities with plenty of pawn shops and jewelry stores per capita are favored on our list. Oh, so now we get down to the nitty-gritty.
So they like to live in Detroit.
Yeah, so wherever there's a Shane Company, I suppose they want to live near them.
Yeah, this is an ad for the Shane Company.
Yeah, it is. Finally, dragons would want to go where they are most adored. So regions of the U.S. that search for dragons more often than others are performed better in the ranking. So here, let's get down to it. Where in the U.S. would we find a dragon? So the best cities, according to Shane Company, are number 1. Or should we go from 10 to 1? Let's go
10 to 1. Go 10 to 1, yeah.
Number 10. Wait, I don't have a drum roll, so it'll have to be this. Number 10. Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Yeah, man, because the dragon,
So evidently they're training.
It can light up the fields, man.
They're training for
Ride
the
that
Olympics.
high.
Yeah, training for the Olympics. They are. Number 9, San Francisco, California.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
All right. Number 8, Ogden, Utah.
No, they're gonna avoid Utah.
Evidently not according to the Shane Company.
Well, the Shane Company's wrong. I'm a dragon expert.
Number 7, put on your Broncos jersey. You're going to Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
Number 6, El Paso, Texas. El
I'll give them
Paso,
that.
get a rope. Number 5, beachfront property, Honolulu, Hawaii.
Well, I just want to chill out in Hawaii. Yeah, man. This is the laid-back lifestyle.
Cost of living is expensive in Honolulu.
You think a dragon looks like cost of living? It's not like he has to order jeans.
They're going to be sleeping on the beach in Honolulu.
Perfect.
I don't know about that one. Number 4, Boise, Idaho. There's nobody in Boise, Idaho.
No, nothing.
They're going to starve to death.
Yes, unless they like potatoes.
That's how they're going to survive potato famine.
They're just going to carve themselves up.
They're going to eat potatoes.
It's the fattest dragons you've ever seen.
Dragons with an Irish accent. They're going to live on potatoes. Number 3, watch Bruiser scream, Provo, Utah.
No. No, they're not going to Utah.
Well, they are in this one.
They're wrong.
Number 2, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Again, no. We just discussed this. Air like traffic constantly. In Nevada, there's a famous military base out there too. Hello, Area 51.
Those dragons are getting shot down the first day they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a good spot for dragons. This list not thought out very well by the Shane Company.
No, it's not.
No. And number 1, Albuquerque, New Mexico. They can get hit by a nuke and die.
I was gonna say again, military bases.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there the worst? Where are the worst? Let's see if we can find the worst. The worst are probably the best ones for them. Let's see. Oh, by the way, Minneapolis came in number 12.
Okay.
I don't think we're a good city for dragons.
No, you get too cold.
We have, right? They're going to freeze.
Yeah.
One. But we do have an excellent art program for them. So they'll find a job. Milwaukee came in number 16 for dragons.
I don't see that being good either because it's right on the lakefront.
Right. Let's see here. Let's see where the Carolinas came in. Actually, the Carolinas do not come in very well for your friends the dragons. Just saying. We got to go all the way to 47 for Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. I don't get why it has very minimal air traffic. It has mountains nearby. Not a lot of cattle.
Yeah.
But you can eat other things.
Number 49, big spring breaker destination, Daytona Beach, Florida, for the dragons. Shane Company, not thinking when it comes to the well-being of dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't find the 10 worst in here.
Anywhere there's a Shane Company, we're just going to say it's the worst.
Yeah, Shane Company, not thinking. Although, you know what? Minneapolis, Minnesota being number 12, also has a lot of Shane Company outlets.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's probably why. In their closing thoughts, they say dragons are the centerpiece of folk tales and legends around the world and often symbolize valiance, bravery, and self-confidence, all traits that the team here at Shane Company knows are incredibly important when it comes to popping the big question. Once you and your partner are ready to take the next big step, shop Shane Company's assortment of engagement rings that even the greediest of dragons would be jealous of.
See? All an ad for Shane Company.
Yep. That was just one big ad for Shane Company. Thanks, Tom, for sending us a big ad for Shane Company. Having to do with dragons. It was a funny way to
end the show.
Yeah, end the show. Dragons. Where would they survive? Not in
anywhere but Utah
or Las Vegas or Albuquerque.
Exactly.
Places that have major military installations that would blow them off the face of the planet. Shane Company, you make me laugh. Dear Shane Company, you know nothing of mythical dragons.
Nothing.
Stay in your lane.
Go back to your jewelry.
Go back to your jewelry. Go back to what you know. That'll do it for today, for today's Supernatural News. Bruiser, tell people where you're going to be.
I'm off this weekend.
Yeah.
And yep. So next weekend, August. November 11th, I am in Junction City, Kansas. November 12th.
You got a title match coming up, my friend.
I have 2.
Yeah.
November 11th is a title match, and then November 12th in Springfield, Missouri is also a title match.
My God.
Yeah.
Look at you.
And then the big one is coming up Black Friday it starts. So was that November 26th, 25th is WrestleCade weekend right in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's one of the biggest events in the wrestling world. You can come meet. Like, they have legends, they have stars, they also have shows all 3 days. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 shows a day. I will be doing autograph signings and I'll be performing. So
right on.
I'm very excited for that whole weekend.
If you've never been to WrestleCade, check it out, kids. It is something to behold. Everybody who's everybody is down at WrestleCade.
Yeah.
And
they're announcing more and more every day.
Yeah. Yeah,
they do a really good job at WrestleCade, and the shows are going to be fantastic.
Going to be some good stars, great stars down there at WrestleCade. And our own Beer City Bruiser will be down there as well. We'll have some, as we get some more information, we'll have it up at our events page at darknessradioshow.com. So check out that page. Keep looking at the events page at darknessradioshow.com. And there will be a link there to WrestleCade, so you can look for yourself to see everybody who's going to be down there.
Yep, there's a lot. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, there's people coming in that are just amazing. And if you are a wrestling fan, this is a place to literally see everybody you grew up watching and current people on TV now.
Yep.
Yeah. And me.
And Bruiser. That's right.
Little old me.
That's right. Tomorrow on the show, we're still, speaking of wrestling, we're still wrestling with a guest for tomorrow. We believe it's going to be the new owner of the Lizzie Borden house, but we'll see when we get to it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk all things Lizzie Borden and get an update from the house itself and see if there's some new stories from there. If not, then it's a paranormal potpourri.
Woohoo!
Yeah, your boy is going to pull some magic out of a hat on Halloween week.
You do it. You're good at it.
Yeah, I do that for a living, you know. Again, a reminder, we've got this Millionaires Club thing going on.
Yes, we do.
Bruiser. Yeah. I'm loving some of the emails we're getting for the Millionaires Club. A lot of people saying hi to Bruiser, which is nice.
Hello.
They're loving the show. A lot of funny emails coming in from Millionaires Club. Again, this is how you enter, folks. It's real simple. You just send an email, tim@darknessradio.com. In the subject line, I want to be in the Million-Heirs, AIRS Club. And that gets you into the contest. What are we talking about, by the way? You may be asking. Well, between June 15th and October 15th, we got 1 million downloads since we have been here on Audio Boom.
Which is amazing. Thank you so much.
That's a pretty cool deal. So the way we're celebrating is we're putting together a 1 in a million prize pack for one listener. One listener is going to get a prize specifically for them. Bruiser doesn't have it. I don't have it. It's a piece of Darkness Radio Millionaires Club merchandise that
amazing.
Nobody but you is going to have. It's like a physical NFT, put it that way. Mm-hmm. Nobody in this world owns it but you. And plus, in this prize pack, you're going to get an autographed 8x10 from our own Beer City Bruiser. Mm-hmm. There may be a few other things in there too. But you're going to have one specific piece of merchandise that nobody else in this world owns but you.
And we're all going to be jealous of you.
That's right. We're all going to stalk you just so we can see you have it. But it's just you, my friend. You own it. It's like when the Wu-Tang Clan made that one special album and they put it up for auction and Martin Shkreli, that piece of shit pharmaceutical guy, bought it. We're not saying you're Martin Shkreli. We're saying that you're special.
Yep.
But you're going to be drawn. That's why you're sending us an email. You're getting in the drawing. You could potentially win that piece of merchandise. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
No, you're going to win that special piece of merchandise that we're putting together just for you.
But only one email per entry, right?
That's right. Only one entry per person, per household, please. No purchase necessary. But only one entry per household, folks, please. If you send more than one, we're disqualifying the other entries. You still get one entry.
Yes.
But only one entry per household. You send any more than that, we're just getting rid of the others. You're just wasting your time if you put in more than one.
Yeah.
It's not a weighted system. So that's how it works. We want your entries. We're going to, as we speak right now, world famous graphic artist, comic artist, Dick Tracy artist, Howie Noel, is putting together the logo for the Darkness Radio Millionaires Club. So you do your part. You get your entry in right now, tim@darknessradio.com. In the subject line, put, I want to be in the Millionaires Club, million-AIRS Club. And in the body of the email, put anything you want in there. Put, I want my free shit. Give me my free shit. Free shit runs in my family. I sailed on a river of free shit once. Free shit falls from outer space. I rode in a UFO of free shit once. I was abducted by free shit.
I survived a poltergeist, and all I got was this free shit.
There you go. Lots of things. There are lots of things you can put in that body of the email. But just one thing in the subject line. I want to be in the Millionaires Club. That's Perfect. It. And then you're entered. And then we will draw for that here in a couple of weeks. We will unveil here. I believe Howie is getting me the logo here on Monday.
Oh,
so we will be able to unveil officially what it is shortly afterwards. It'll be next week. We will be able to unveil what the special one-of-a-kind prize is.
Exciting.
God, I can't wait. I
can't either.
I've been doing little dances around the house on one leg because that's all I had to do a dance on. And man, I'm ready. I am so ready. You guys are going to be shocked and awed.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. So get ready, folks, because it's coming. So you're gonna have your 1 in a million prize pack, and it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. So you will truly feel like a millionaire in the Millionaires Club. So that's it for today's show. Get your entries in for the Millionaires Club. Keep listening, folks. We got some good, exciting shows coming up here, coming into Christmas time. We've got the anniversary show coming up at the beginning of the year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we got some good stuff coming up here on Darkness Radio. Good things are happening. We're having a fun time here on Darkness Radio. So
I'm having a blast. I think it's great.
Yeah. So tomorrow, Paranormal Potpourri, if we can't get these kids from the Lizzie Borden house on.
Yeah. I'll be here.
I call it non-committal booking. Yeah. Who needs a solid guest for the show?
Yeah.
Bruiser, right?
Tune in and find out. It's always good to be surprised.
Just show up and we'll do a show.
Exactly.
That's right. Who needs a solid guest? Right?
Right.
Just come on and we'll do our thing. They'll do their thing. We'll have fun.
Exactly.
Right. So come on, join us tomorrow, and by gosh, we'll do a show thingy. That's right. So for Beer City Bruiser, I'm Tim Dennis. Come join us tomorrow, kids, for the best in paranormal programming. This is Darkness Radio.